Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It is my pleasure to be with you on draft day. Hey, a little current sports news, pertinent information, discussion surrounding something that's actually happening that's new, that's of today, that matters in the sports world. All right. Good to see you Thursday. Good to see you, NFL Draft. Thanks for joining us. I hope this finds you doing well. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you're going to listen live via the streaming free always. Don't miss anything. Hey, if you do, we've got you. It's going to be all 3 hours posted to iTunes and in our own audio vault. You can always email the program if you like. It's jcs@979espnradio.com. Got my Bucks gear on today. Tom's got his Bucks gear on. I got the hat and the shirt. Got my Bucks thong on. Good to go.
Do you really?
Yeah. You got your Bucks garter belt? You got everything you need over there?
I got the plank hammock on. That's
nice.
right.
Go Buckaroos.
Fire those cannons.
Yeah, here we go. So that's tonight, and we'll see which one of your teams, could be my team, screws it up, because ultimately that's what we're all waiting to do, is to sit back and laugh at other teams. A little schadenfreude on draft night, that's what we tend to do, although this figures to be one of the more intriguing drafts maybe ever. Given the circumstances we find ourselves in, it's very, very odd. It will be a unique production. It will be a unique watch, I have a feeling, tonight. Unlike certainly anything we've ever seen in regards to the draft. That's the case. That is true. And then I think because of that, because of the uncertainty, because of the uniqueness of the draft, the lack of information in some cases, I think you have a lot of potential trades, a lot of maneuvering up until the last second for a lot of these teams, and that is fascinating.
How about what the Lions did? Did you see what their GM and how he set it up for tonight and I guess for the rest of the weekend? He had the IT director have a trailer built or brought to his front lawn of his house.
How nice is that?
So the GM is on the property, social distancing, but he says, I'm not going to have anything screw around with the trade that I'm going to make for pick number 3. I want our IT director in a Winnebago on my front lawn.
So it starts there, by the way. And you just hit on it. I don't know which mock you guys are partial to. We all have our guys that we feel like have gotten it more right than wrong over the years. Nobody's close to perfect with this stuff. And even those that have a great track record have had any number of moments in which they seriously bungled either the selection or the evaluation. That's another reason we like the draft, is that over the years, if you're humble enough to admit it, you can know the game, you could have played the game, you certainly could have analyzed and watched the game for a number of years. We all have an opinion about a player and what he will or will not be, or what he was or was not in college. Everybody's got that. If you're diehard and passionate about the sport of football, you have that. We have this idea that this guy's a system guy, or he was in a perfect position in college, but it doesn't exist in the pros because he's a man without a position at the next level and all this other stuff. And we get into kind of parsing their skill sets, whether or not that they're an asset for this franchise, or are they potentially somebody to be brought in but moved in. And you have the annual debate about where guys should go or where they should not go. And I think the uncertainty makes it all the more intriguing, although at the top of this draft, there is no uncertainty. Number 1, Joe Burrow is going to Cincinnati. It's the right pick. I mean, you know that they've heard from a lot of teams who want that pick. In particular, the Miami Dolphins, who would like to take Joe Burrow. More and more as the day has moved along, the talk out of South Florida is that they're not in love with option number 2. They're not in love with what's behind door number 2 or door number 3 at that position. They are in love with what's behind door number 1. Well, tough luck, kiddos. You don't have the number 1 pick, and Cincinnati is in need of a quarterback. And the guy you want, they want, and they're not budging unless you're willing to do Mike Ditka-esque silliness and forego the rest of the draft and give them all of your picks so that you can bring in Ricky Williams and don the wedding dress and be on the front cover of Sports Illustrated, and we look back at it many years removed and laugh, just as we did when it happened in real time. But that sort of blockbuster deal doesn't look to be on the horizon. And in fact, specifically, the Bengals told the Miami Dolphins multiple times that they would not trade the number 1 pick tonight. That according to Adam Schefter. The Dolphins have called on more than one occasion over the last number of weeks, but the Bengals on each of those occasions, including today, said, yeah, nah, we're not doing it. We're going to go ahead and stick here at number 1. The Dolphins, for their part, have 3 first-round picks, so you could understand how it is that they were attempting to lure and package something that would maybe entice Cincinnati to think twice. It would be hard to say no, for example, if the Dolphins told you they'll give you the number 5, number 18, and number 26 picks in the first round for year 1. 3 first-rounders, awfully hard to come by if you got the cap space and you need a lot, and they do. It would be hard not to take a good long look at the potential of the haul you could bring in tonight if you were able to make that trade.
And then they could go sign Jameis Winston.
Correct.
And let's roll.
Let's roll indeed. But they're in love with Burrow, and it's hard not to be. He just came out of the greatest season perhaps ever by a quarterback, and he really answered every question there was to answer. He's big, he's strong, he's confident, he's smart, he's charismatic, he's cocky in the right kind of way. He's really shown it at every turn. You don't play in that league and then turn around at the end of the year and play the best team outside of that league and maybe in the country on a consistent basis these days in Clemson and pick them all apart as he did every test and not show that you are the best of the best at your position. That's what he did.
Well, and it helps, too, that he's from the area. That doesn't hurt. If he was a California guy and you know, he wasn't wired the same way as maybe the state of Ohio is and certainly the area of Cincinnati, then maybe you'd be looking at, well, it's a culture clash thing here and we won't be able to sell as many jerseys. This is perfect. This couldn't fit any better.
Yeah, you're Mr. Basketball in the state of Ohio, and then you turn right around and
he's from nowhere, Ohio, too.
Yeah.
So he gets like the Paducah people that are right across the way from their stadium.
Yeah. Yeah, they certainly are. But we'll leave that alone. We'll let the fine folks of Cincinnati enjoy their good fortune here and bring in the Joe Burrow of the worlds and be able to excel and go. It's nice knowing what you want and having the ability to get it. It doesn't happen all that often in life. It did for Cincinnati this year, and there they go. Number 2 is pretty obvious, too. Chase Young makes his way to Washington, and we're done dealing. I mean, that's the 1-2 picks. There is no uncertainty. But where it gets fun and where it gets really interesting, and maybe even the course of the show today, it will happen over the course of the show today, is at number 3, Detroit, they want out. Listen, a lot of people in Detroit want out. But the organization itself wants out currently, and I get it. At number 3, when your best projection is a corner, there are corners that excite you. Jeff Okudah ain't one of them. He could be a great player for the next 10 years, could be an everyday starter, could be a lockdown corner, perhaps. Ain't moving the needle for me if I'm a Detroit fan, knowing what we need and all the vacancies and areas of real concern on my team, and you're going to bring in at number 3 Jeff Okudah? Nah, man. I'd rather take Derek Brown. In fact, I would take Derek Brown because you have perhaps the most dominant defensive tackle available to you at number 3.
Who can flex out and play end.
Yeah, he's a freak.
Yeah.
I'm probably going that route as opposed to Jeff Okudah. I know I'm not drafting Jeff Okudah, period. Screw Jeff Okudah. I'm here to say tonight, screw Jeff Okudah.
Would you go on Periscope, the Detroit Lions Periscope if you're the general manager? Folks, as you're heading to your happy hour location, which is known as your living room these days, I just want to let you guys know in advance of tonight's draft.
We're not taking Jeff Okudah.
That I don't know what we're going to take and where we're going to take the play. Like at 3, we're not taking him. Maybe if we get a bounty of picks later in the first round, Jeff Okudah might be part of the menu. But we're not taking Jeff. Be safe in your living rooms tonight, folks.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you in a little bit.
If we fall somewhere in the neighborhood of 15, 16, 17, somewhere in there, okay, we might take Jeff Okudah there.
If we parlay 3 into, say, pick 5 and pick 19, maybe if Okudah's still there.
Yeah.
Probably won't be, but that's okay. It won't be because we took him at 5.
Yeah, no, not going to happen. So that would be me. It looks like Detroit's thinking a lot like me. Or I'm thinking a lot like Detroit, like, this is not doing it. I just don't feel all that good about this pick. Let's move it along here and see if we can't get more bang for our buck. We have a lot of needs. There are some teams that would like to move up to the position. The Dolphins are kind of suggesting that maybe they're involved in something like that. Obviously, you look at the Giants, it looks like they're pretty much penciled in there at 4 and that they're comfortable going offensive line. But there are a number of teams that might be willing to move up. I don't know. It's just more and more sounding like Miami is not in love with the idea of taking Tua or, for that matter, Justin Herbert, and that the real quarterback in this draft is the one that's going number 1, and they wanted that, and they can't have it, and now they're kind of in limbo. And who knows what happens then, because that means they're taking calls.
It's a tough day to be a Dolphins fan. Tough day, because it's continuing. The trend from earlier in the week is continuing. You look at people who cover the Miami Dolphins for a living, and they're getting all kinds of different intel from people within the organization.
Yeah, they are.
You've got people from different beats at different newspapers or websites saying, I've talked to 3 people inside that building, and I've gotten 3 different answers.
Ultimately, you're in an enviable position. It's hard to notice that sometimes when you're fighting over what the selection should be. But if you have a top 5 pick, at least on draft night, I mean, obviously, you don't want to be so bad that that's where you end up on a consistent basis. But the bottom line is you're there now, and having a top 5 pick affords you the opportunity to get one of the best players in the draft, period. And if you need a quarterback, I think you got one staring you in the face at number 5 in Tua. I don't think this is very difficult. I don't think we need to overthink this. I mean, take Tua and move along if you're comfortable with the medical. And that's the only question I'd have. If it's a question of whether or not he can play, well, that's been answered. He can play.
Captain, the runway is right there.
You got to land there, man.
I know it's not the one you intended to land on, but we've got one right here.
Yeah, and what's always funny about these things is if you take it from the standpoint of if the GM has control, if the GM is not being told by the owner that this is what they're going to do, but rather they're getting paid to do what they do and the owner is hands off in this moment. You think an awful lot about what this pick's going to mean for you in a year from now and 3 years from now. And so sometimes, listen, if you take Isaiah Simmons out of Clemson or Derek Brown out of Auburn, you've got job security, and nobody's going to get mad at you about that pick. You draft the wrong quarterback, you join the desk at ESPN. I mean, that's what you do. And so that's the conversation, right? That's sort of, or at least the thought process to some degree. But you can't live like that. If you don't love a guy or you do love a guy, you just got to be honest to yourself. You got to trust your experts, your scouts, and those that sit down in the room with you that eval these quarterbacks and go from there. If you don't think that Herbert can play or you're worried about the medicals with Tua, trade out of the pick at 5, go down and get a haul and move out.
And go get Jameis Winston and be done with it.
Yes.
At that point, you definitely want to sign him.
Well, him or Cam. Either one.
At that point, get Jameis Winston.
Well, I would and you would, but that's because Cam's been perpetually hurt. If Cam Newton passes the physicals and he's okay and he's raring to go, he's an option for you, perhaps an even cheaper option, but he's an option for you, just as Jameis Winston is an option for you. You're right, but if you don't love that pick, then, you can go Isaiah Simmons, you can go offensive tackle. Miami has plenty of needs. You could trade down and get a haul. I get it. But I have a feeling they're going to butcher this thing and draft Justin Herbert.
At 3. They're going to trade up
to get him? They're going to trade up to get him?
Because they're worried somebody else is going to take him.
Who?
Maybe the Giants at 4. Who knows?
That the Chargers are going to move up and take him?
Yeah, we need to make the deal with Detroit. Somebody else will.
I do feel like we're going to get one of these tackles, but I know that there's a certain somebody out there that we both respect and like that projects one Jerry Jeudy. There are others. We'll talk about it as the day goes along. It should be fun. I do wonder tonight who Tom Brady selects. Should be interesting to see who Tom Brady picks. At first, we had to get used to Brady in Tampa Bay. Then we heard the news of Gronk, and now we got to see what kind of GM Tom Brady is.
Yeah, I was on a Zoom call a couple of weeks
ago. With Tom Brady?
No, unfortunately. He would just stop by without even checking and using the password.
More on that later, too.
But people were getting into a fight, just a fun one, about, well, who's your quarterback? And I got to chime in and say, Tom Brady. Tom Brady is my
Brady's
I know you didn't
quarterback.
ask me, but
Yeah.
Tom Brady is my quarterback. And it was the first time that it hit me. Wow,
We
that's
got Tom
actually the
freaking
answer
Brady.
to the
Yeah,
question.
I know.
That is so weird.
The better question isn't who's your quarterback, is can your quarterback still play? Can Tom Brady still play?
Hey, man, let me have my moment. I've been in mourning for the better part of a month.
I know. Hey, real quick before we take a break, it might be the only time we get a chance to say this because we're going to be so hyper-focused on football and following what's coming down the pike today. I just want to send out into the universe well wishes here, into the ether. Maybe it connects somehow and falls at the feet of the person who can get this thing done. But we can't have Vin Scully dying on us now. Hall of Famer Vin Scully, hospitalized after falling down in Southern California. Old people and falling down is a recipe for us mourning the loss of said old person in the not-too-distant future.
Man, that's really that's a Debbie Downer.
I'm just letting you know, I read the article, and the first thing I saw was that he had to be hospitalized. Hospitals are where you go when you get sick. Hospitals are where you go to get sick these days. Where he is, Los Angeles, that's a dangerous situation, man.
Why, man? Today's draft day.
Former LA Dodgers iconic broadcaster did say he is resting comfortably. Quote,
I'm sure he did.
quote, I won't be doing any more head-first sliding. I never liked it to begin with. At least he has a sense of humor. He's trying to yuck it up a little
and
bit.
he delivered that.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. He's 92 years old. We all know he called Dodger games. It's just fun to say it. For 67 years.
I won't be doing any headfirst sliding. You know, I was there for the first headfirst slide in MLB history.
And he was.
It was done by Wally McGee.
Yeah, and he'll tell you the story of Wally McGee, who went on to be a painter of houses.
It was the summer of 1956 in Brooklyn. A very hot summer, if you ask anybody who was around then.
Before he fell off the roof and died while painting. He says he's at peace. That's scary to me.
Whoa!
He's at peace.
That first quote was good. This one's no good.
Yeah, no, I don't like people noting they're at peace, staring off into the universe, trying to assure everything to everybody that it's going to be okay because they know it's not.
Speaking of at peace, nobody was more at peace than Fernando Valenzuela in the 1980s.
Oh, boy. Good luck, Vin Scully. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Attention Tallahassee area hospitality workers. Metro Deli in downtown Tallahassee is serving up a free pasta dinner this Thursday from 2 to 3:30. That's right, if you are a member of the hospitality industry, make sure to bring a shirt or name tag from your place of employment and simply head to Metro Deli this Thursday at 2 p.m. to pick up a free homemade pasta dinner. The first 100 to show are eating for free. Metro Deli in downtown Tallahassee. Good people helping our own in our city. For location and takeout menu, head to MetroDeliTally.com. That's MetroDeliTally.com.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
This spring, I'm making Everyday Earth Day by incorporating small actions that can create big results.
Like what?
Well, I'm starting with daily habits, turning off the lights every time I leave a room, shutting off the tap when I brush my teeth, and unplugging electronics when I'm not using them.
Those are great ideas our whole family can do.
And since we're home more, I could also use your help with a few one-time projects that could benefit us long-term, like fixing water leaks and installing our rain barrel.
I'd I'd love to help. Right after I call the City of Tallahassee Utilities at 891-4968 to sign up for paperless billing.
Excellent! Tonight, let's ask the kids if they have any ideas about what we can do to save energy, water, and money as we celebrate Earth Day at home.
2020 marks the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, and there are many things TLH can do to celebrate at home. Get inspiration at tlhcando.com. Small actions create big results. A message from the City of Tallahassee Utilities.
Sellers Tile does it better for business owners, contractors, designers, and homeowners. Better design ideas, better quality tile, carpet, and hardwood flooring, better mosaics, ceramic, and vinyl solutions. And Sellers makes it easier with their amazing showroom and first-class professionals. Maybe it's time to get Sellers working for you on Capitol Circle Northeast, just north of Mahan Drive, or online at sellerstile.com for better style, quality, and design. Go with Sellers in Tallahassee. Call 656-8453.
Tallahassee's tastiest jumbo wings are back in force. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill is now open daily from 4 to 9 p.m. for all your takeout needs. Enjoy an all-day, everyday special of 10 wings and a basket of fries for just $10. Plus, have the Corner Pocket make you a signature to-go beer or liquor beverage as well. Red Russians, anybody? Just call 574-2724 for your wing order today. That's 574-2724 for the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Or to stop by and order in person, please use the outdoor deck. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
AAA Tree Experts has been a Tallahassee staple for over 35 years. But did you know they now offer landscaping? AAA landscaping services include custom outdoor landscape, creative landscape design and architecture, hardscapes, waterscapes, retention walls, and French drains, irrigation and sodding, landscape and holiday lighting. Call them today for all your outdoor landscaping needs. 850-385-3319 or visit them online at AAATreeExperts.net. AAA Tree Experts and Landscaping.
Have you ever noticed when you report an accident or a claim to an insurance company, they are very eager to get you to one of their approved body shops. They say that they guarantee the shops work, but what they're really saying is the shop works for them, not the customer. So choose a shop that is working for and looking out for you, someone you trust. It's your choice. Lisa's Paint and Body.
Lisa's Paint and Body, now located at 2820 Mahan Drive. License number MV46050.
Lane's Medical Shop has all of your home medical needs. They carry home oxygen, hospital beds, nebulizers, walkers, wheelchairs, orthotics, diabetic shoes, and all sleep apnea supplies. Lane's also has a weight loss clinic in-house, no appointment necessary, including B12 injections and any prescriptions necessary with the lowest prices around, and delivers to Tallahassee and South Georgia. Located only 40 miles from Tallahassee, go see Blake today, 210 West Main Street, Colquitt, Georgia, 229-758-9111.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Hurricanes in December, earthquakes in the heartland.
Yeah, we're going to have to pass on hurricanes this year, Sunvolt. That can't happen. Can't happen. But we're not here to get down in the doldrums. We're here to celebrate the draft.
Vin Scully and hurricanes. Jeez.
I just was reminded when the opening lyric came forth that we do have hurricane season to deal with. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. Miss anything, go back and find it on iTunes. Make sure to rate, review, share, all that good stuff they tell us to tell you. Yeah. It helps others find the show. I am looking forward to Bedlam tonight. I do want to see 5, 6, 7 trades. I want to see people moving and shaking and doing things that you don't expect because I like that kind of uncertainty.
Are you doing wings tonight? What's on the menu?
That's funny. Yeah, no, I'm not doing wings. I thought about it, but I've got shrimp to grill, big ones, gigantic ones. And I'm going to eat several of those to go along with this vegetable dish that my wife makes that I absolutely love. It's just this gigantic bowl of vegetables that we put in I don't know what she does, but it's got all kinds of seasoning on it. It's got broccoli and spinach and cauliflower and there's other vegetables in there. I don't know what else in there, but I like it. It's very good.
I'm in a sad mood today in general. This is the second straight draft party that I will miss. Last year I was sick on the day of the draft. And tonight we should have been at Bumpus, which is where you guys were last year.
Oh, my friends at Bumpus. I'm rooting for Bumpus, and I'm rooting for all local businesses. That makes me sad with the quickness when I think about all of the places that make our fair community and city an eclectic mix of wonderful variety. I like being able to choose many different fairs on any given evening, and currently I'm concerned for all those groups.
Well, if you heard during the break, obviously Corner Pocket has 10 wings and a basket of fries for $10 all day, every day. That's something that if you're on that part of town, you might want to order. At Bumpus tonight, this is something they have all day, every day. The Wingman Special, 25 wings plus 2 orders of fries plus a bucket of beer for $38.95. That is awesome.
Bring on the bucket for the draft.
Not too bad.
I don't know. My kids, before I left the house this morning, told me they wanted me to bring home pizza. They were feeling some pizza. So we'll see. I think I'm going to stick, like I said, with the shrimp and the vegetables. Be good to go.
Tell them, go to hell.
And some tall, cold ones as I watch the game.
There you go.
The draft tonight. Yeah, man, it's the draft.
Did you have a growler last night?
I did not. I'd like to thank you for purchasing 2 growlers for me.
That wasn't a humble
friends.
brag.
No, from our friends at Deep. You did that, and those are sitting there. Getting ice cold, waiting on Big Daddy to get home. I figured I'd save those growlers for the actual draft.
So today, I left the house and Jamie says, "Are you going anywhere before you come home?" I said, "Wait, you want me to stop somewhere and get something?"
Yeah.
And she goes, I mean, I don't know. I didn't know if you were going anywhere. I said, "Where do you want me to go?" She goes,
Yeah.
"It's fine. Go tomorrow." I said, "Where do you want me to go?" She said, "Ology." I go, "Ology? I just went to Deep yesterday. We didn't even open those things." She
That's
goes,
okay.
"I want to be stocked up. It's the draft."
It's the draft is right. Is she nervous about what the Vikes do? I mean, we haven't even talked about the Vikings. It is a strange community, one that I love here in Tallahassee, in that we've said it before. You can find Steelers fans all over the globe. You move to any city in America and it's draft night, you go to your local watering hole to watch the draft, and there will be a large contingent of Steelers fans. Same for the Cowboys, same for the Packers, and a few other teams. But, man, for whatever reason, in Tallahassee, Florida, we have, off the top of my head, 5, 6 diehard Vikings fans that I just happen to know.
Yeah.
And there's more than that. It's a strange collection, but they're out there. And I hadn't even thought about the Vikings going into this draft. For her, your fiance, that is, for people wondering what I'm referring to, she doesn't get that excited because the Vikings don't pick till outside pick 20.
Yeah, it's 22 and 25. They got one of those
Cool
two
to
picks.
have.
Yeah, from Buffalo.
Yeah.
It's the Stephon Diggs trade. So the good news for them is Stefanski left to become the head coach or coordinator somewhere, I forget. But he's no longer the offensive coordinator. That's good news. Bad news is Stephon Diggs is a really good player, and they couldn't make it work in the locker room. So that's no good. They've got to get a receiver in their first 2 or 3 picks.
Well, at 22, T. Higgins will be there if you wanted to go that route. I didn't love the way his year ended, but you could go there. It's a wide receiver-heavy draft. You could bring in the Brandon Ayuk kid or whatever from Arizona State. Yeah.
Well, who knows what time those picks are going to come in. So I hope she's taking a nap right now in the 3 o'clock hour, because 22 to 25, who knows how many delays there are going to be or what kind of problems, technically speaking, with the draft. It starts at 8. Might not be till close to midnight by the time the Vikings make their picks.
If the Vikings are lucky, Justin Jefferson will be there. If Justin Jefferson is there at 22, you said 22? 23?
Yeah, 22, I do believe.
If 22 is correct. If Justin Jefferson is there at 22, that is the pick.
Yeah, you got a better receiver for cheaper
Yeah.
in getting rid of Diggs.
Yeah, that's the pick. The Dolphins are the most interesting team in the first round tonight because of the assets. When you have 3 first-round picks, you're in the best possible position to shake up the first round of the draft. And they're actively pursuing trades today. And Cincinnati said no. They've been in contact with Detroit. There's a lot of uncertainty about what the Dolphins are going to do, but they do have assets to trade. They have draft capital. They can make it happen. It could be very, very fascinating. They could just stick where they are and take Tua, which would be wise in my opinion. But I love the intrigue and the buzz surrounding potential trades, and this draft more than any other, as we were saying in the opening, seems to have the greatest potential for that. because teams did not get to have as many one-on-one meetings with prospects. They did not get the kind of physicals and thorough examination of these prospects as they would like. And so I just think if guys are a little uncertain and they're able to trade down and acquire more picks, they probably will.
Yeah, to think about it, too, not just for this year's draft, but if you can get some second-rounders or third-rounders in the 2021 draft, you would think you'd have a better handle on what prospects you're bringing in, right?
Yeah, and yes, because things will have hopefully stabilized by then. If the Bucs are unable to get one of the 4 tackles that are available, do they trade down? Do they take one of the Bama receivers, either Henry Ruggs or Jerry Jeudy? Is that a possibility? Some think one of those two will certainly be there. CeeDee Lamb is certainly not going to be there. You could go from there and trade down and take one of these other tackles that the Bucs have been looking at. We talked about it yesterday on the show with Lee DeKemper from JoeBucksFan.com. If you didn't get to hear that long-form discussion with him yesterday, I suggest before tonight's draft that maybe you go back and listen to that. Go to iTunes. You'll find it in hour 3.
Maybe in the 6 o'clock hour, because our draft coverage starts at 7, and we go off the air at 6.
That's right. We go off at 6.
You've got about a half an hour there of some good info.
There is, and some of that info that I'm alluding to now is that the Bucs looked at the offensive tackle from Boise State. They brought him in before the quarantine, before the shutdown. They had a chance to talk with him. Teams don't usually do that unless they really, really like a guy and they're kind of intrigued by maybe drafting them. So, okay, I mean, maybe they don't get one of these 4 guys and they have a guy they like already and they move down from there.
You know what? We live in a herky-jerky time where things aren't on ceremony. I'm going to put the Lee DeKemper interview on at 6 o'clock, right after we're done with the show.
Boom, there we go.
There you go.
You get the long form. It's well done. I gotta say this, as far as ideal sets of circumstances and perhaps seeing something fun here, for the Bucs or for anybody else for that matter, I mean, in terms of trades and guys still sticking around, I wonder, I haven't asked you this, the Kinlaw kid out of South Carolina that people love, obviously he's kind of next up on that list of big old guys on defense after Derek Brown. And the Bucs like him. Would they go that route? That's a fascinating discussion, too, because, again, I asked that question yesterday to Lee, and he seems to think that Kinlaw would come in and play nearly 60% of the snaps.
If you're of the mindset that mock draft projections from about, let's say, 48 to 72 hours before the draft are just nonsense, trying to get you to click one last time, and that the truth is probably a little bit farther out from the actual draft night, Kinlaw was the one that was most consistently tied to the Bucs. In mock drafts that didn't have any offensive tackles available, Kinlaw was the pick. I'd be interested to see. I feel like Jason Light fancies himself somebody who can go get a tackle later in the draft because that's his specialty is the offensive line. So even if a tackle is available, and let's say Andrew Thomas is available at 14, I'm not certain we're picking him. I think Light might believe he has somebody later he can go get, and he can, jump on receiver or defensive tackle, a different position of need at 14.
I do think, by the way, that the Bucs, if he's there, specifically one player that we're not talking about a lot, you and I have talked about, and it would make sense because of the need to have a burner. Jerry Jeudy, if he's there.
Yeah, or Ruggs for that matter, because Godwin
both
in Arians' offense was going over the middle with no problem last year. And so he could play in the slot, even though his body type is a little bit bigger than your traditional slot receiver. He could go there. Look at the amount of targets he had last year. It's akin to a Wes Welker type of workload. So if Ruggs is available and they think that he's the guy and Judy's already been taken, well, you can line up Ruggs on one side of the field across from Evans. I mean, good Lord, with that speed he has, he doesn't need to do much more than run a fly.
I just want one of the tackles. All this discussion leads me back to where I came from originally, which is, can we just stop ignoring the offensive line and get a tackle in here? I don't care if it's Becton, I don't Wirfs, whomever. Just go get a damn tackle and be done with it. You've got an old man quarterback who can't move. You got to protect him. Let's get a running back in the second round and be done with it.
We were doing the show down in Tampa, and let's say it was a normal year. You'd have draft slogans every single year. Like one, it would be Quentin Nelson
Well,
or I leave the building.
Yes.
There it is. Quentin Nelson or I leave the building.
Yeah.
And then this year's would be go draft a damn tackle and be done with it.
Yeah, that's it. You've got 4 of them sitting there waiting on you. All of them project nicely. All of them are well thought of. All of them are considered, quote unquote, by almost every analyst involved in this thing to be a plug-and-play guy. Now, with Quentin Nelson, I saw with my own eyes what that guy was, a freak of nature. I began pounding the drum early and often that he was the best player in the draft, that we would rue the day we didn't get him, and then we almost got him, but we didn't, and so I'm forever going to be just crestfallen about that. I'm less passionate about this. This is just about need right here.
Yeah, but you know what? Now it's really meaningless. The Jameis touchdown against the Saints. He's not even on the team anymore.
I know, damn it. I think about it all the time. The touchdown against the Saints made us feel better about where he was headed, the career trajectory, the throw, the chutzpah, the what for, the everything necessary to win a game like that. But we also knew it could hurt us. It did hurt us in the draft. We didn't get Quentin Nelson. Now Jameis isn't even on the damn team. We could have a Hall of Fame guard on our team right now.
Next to Marpet, who's not so bad himself.
No, with a good center who's nasty. We would have the nastiest interior in the NFL. Oh, damn it, man.
Come on, Vince Scully. Not today.
Not today.
Hi, I'm Jeff, founder of Which Wich Superior Sandwiches, and I'm here to tell you about our signature witch, the Wicked. Why call it the Wicked? Some say it's wicked tasty, some say it's wicked large. One thing's for sure, with oven-roasted turkey, ham, pepperoni, roast beef, and bacon, as well as your choice of 3 cheeses, it definitely takes you from wicked hungry to wicked happy in just a few wicked good bites. Only at Which Wich Superior Sandwiches.
On Wednesday, the Wicked is just $5. 5 meats, 3 cheeses, $5.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, TSparkConstruction.com.
Planning on expanding or renovating your home or business? Did you know that these construction projects start with preliminary work such as professional sets of drawings and proper engineering? Before you apply for financing or sign a lease agreement, allow our team of contractors, architects, and engineers to assist you with planning and budgeting. Hello, I'm Travis, owner of T-Spark Enterprises, and I am here because we want your project to launch on the right foot. Call us today and we will take care of your construction needs. We aim to provide work that will exceed your expectations, guaranteeing picture-perfect results.
Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, TSparkConstruction.com.
License number CGC 1525336.
Tallahassee's tastiest jumbo wings are back in force. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill is now open daily from 4 to 9 p.m. for all your takeout needs. Enjoy an all-day, everyday special of 10 wings and a basket of fries for just $10. Plus, have the Corner Pocket make you a signature to-go beer or liquor beverage as well. Red Russians, anybody? Just call 574-2724 for your wing order today. That's 574-2724 for the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Or to stop by and order in person, please use the outdoor deck. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachian Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
It's time to unite, Tallahassee. After years of our great local restaurants serving us, it's our turn to serve them. With this simple purchase of gift cards, we can help them survive the financial toll of COVID-19. Buy them for yourself, your family, or as gifts. No doubt we'll all have a reason to go out and celebrate soon as we safely can. Go to hungertohelp.com and show your support for the heart of our community today. This message brought to you in part by your local Tallahassee radio broadcasters.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
You know you love the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Let's hear Andy Dalton not firing up his team.
Here we go. Bring it up. Hey, it's week 1 now. First chance to show who we are.
Playmakers on threes, all fired up, and they just mumbled it. Yeah, that is not enthusiasm. And this is them projecting to you, oh, Andy Dalton's our quarterback again.
Here we go. Bring it up. Hey, it's week 1 now. First chance to show who we are. Let's play smart, let's play fast, let's play physical. That's what they always preach. Let's go do this together. Playmakers on 3, 1, 2, 3.
They're defeated.
The Dan Le Batard Show. Weekdays from 10 to 1 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Seminole headlines.
I don't know if I could lasso
So
a
y'all
dog.
don't think Osceola and Renegade makes like special appearances that aren't inside Doak Campbell Stadium, like dressed up in the full regalia?
Well, he's not like a clown. I don't think so. No.
I don't think that's ever happened.
0. They're not like a trophy.
No,
you can't,
it's not.
Have them
That's
over.
not.
You can't do that.
Well, I'm not saying they would be there
Glorious
the whole
tradition.
time.
They're not
I'm
tap
saying
dancing for you.
You start your kid's 10th birthday
Also,
party planting the spear.
When you go to Doak, you can go before the game and take pictures with Osceola.
No, but he wants to be the dad that had the party for his son where Osceola and Renegade showed up. So that all the kids at school were talking about Brady's party.
You think there's a price, though, that would
Oh,
make
I
it
mean, everything's got a price. Jimbo would come dance in your front yard for that amount of money. Yeah, that would happen. You're like, hey, son, I got Jimbo Fisher to dance in the front yard for you. Happy birthday. Do it, Jimbo. Get it. I paid good money for this. 30 more seconds. I'm paid. I want my money's worth.
Tuesday night from 5 to 7 p.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Thank you very much.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Studios in Florida's capital city. This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Redemption Thursday, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. Got a do-it-yourself project that needs to be finished? Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, 1110 Stuckey Avenue in Tallahassee and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Online at ctf.nu.
Draft night, not too distant future now. Good thing. At Jay Cameron Show. No concerns that Wirfs is projected by a lot of scouts as a guard? Question mark. That's a high pick for a guard not named Nelson. Yeah, Nelson was usually don't go guard that high. Listed as a tackle. I don't think we have to worry about him, oddly enough. I just think the Giants are locked in there at 4 to take him. So I don't think he's going to be one of the tackles we have to consider.
No. Who would be the most likely, do you think, sitting there at 14 if we didn't move? Becton? Because of the failed test?
Becton is Mekhi Becton, of course, for those listening, the young man who's considered an athletic freak for his size from Louisville, is a guy that could very well be there. I think that... I think back to watching Louisville. Maybe it's just because of what they didn't have.
He allowed 1 sack all season, I believe.
He was a freak. The numbers are there. When I went back and looked at it, I was like, God, Becton, I don't know. And then I looked at the numbers, and almost every scout and every write-up on him could not stop talking about the combination of size and athleticism. And then the numbers from college are really, really good. It just didn't stand out because Louisville was bad. And for a long time, Louisville's offensive line was a problem. And so I think we kind of maybe accidentally, and that can happen with an individual on a bad unit, you can summarily dismiss and not really pay attention to because, A, we're not here to cover Louisville, B, the team's not any good, and C, that segment group wasn't something that people were raving about for much of the time. So I think he kind of, at least in my mind, at least in my analysis, got lost in the shuffle. It wasn't until much later that I began to think and began to hear, more importantly, about him and what he projected to be and why we should be paying attention to him.
Yeah, the talking points around Louisville were coaching change or quarterback change. The last couple of times we played him, and that's when he's getting fat on, and no pun intended because he is a huge dude, but on everybody, all of the edge rushers in the league.
Well, if you're specifically going to draft a right tackle that you know you can plug and play, and he played that position in college and played it well, if Willis is there from Alabama, yeah, I'm all right with that. There's a couple of things I like about Willis. Not only did he play that position in college, likes it, excelled at it in a conference with more NFL caliber talent than any other conference in the league or in college football in general. That's a good start. You're going against like competition that translates to the National Football League more consistently, and you had great success doing it. The other part about Willis, if he's there, that I like a lot is almost in every interview he did for whether it's the Combine or any other build-up to the draft, the talking point around him and uttered by him personally was that he's a nasty player, plays quote-unquote with an edge, borderline on the edge. He himself, much to the chagrin of my son, who said, why would he say that, heard him talking in an interview while I was watching the build-up to the draft last week at some point about the prospects on offensive line, and I'd pulled up something, and Bryce walks by, and he hears Willis say that he likes to hurt people. He's trying to hurt people. And Bryce said, why would you say that? Football's a nasty game, especially in the trenches. And as he's saying it, they show the replay of Willis. He's stoned a guy. He's completely stoned a guy. He's won his matchup, but he's got the guy kind of off balance. And he could let up and let it go because the pass has been delivered, or he could finish the block. There's nothing illegal about either decision, obviously. And he chose to bury him and land on him. And as he's getting up...
land on him. Oh, man.
And as he's getting up, there's a little elbow in the throat. What for? And the guy takes issue, and he's like, what? And I said, well, you know what? That's what I like to see. That's the kind of film I'm looking for my offensive line and linebackers. But Quentin was that. Quentin Nelson's that. He's just wrong. I mean, he's there to hurt you.
Son, this is what you do.
Yeah,
this is what you do.
Yeah.
You must do at minimum this.
Yeah.
In order to play for me.
Yeah, but see that position in particular, you're in a position to do that, to intimidate, to dominate, to never let up, and to ensure that you have an opportunity to win on the next play. And you're getting in guys' heads, and you're doing a lot of things that affect other plays later on in the game. And you got to have that attitude. So anyhow, if he's there, I like that. You have a size, you have agility, you have speed for a big man, which is odd. He has length, and he's mean. He's just mean.
That probably is top 2 criterion, right?
Yeah, you got to. I mean, there's a baseline. You've got to have the requisite length with your arms to play tackle. You have to have good footwork and all the things we're looking at for linemen. You got to be 300+ pounds. You got to be all those things. But given if you have those things, yes, mean, nasty, intimidating.
Yeah, I'm going that you have the size. Yeah. Can you bend, and are you mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is, and he can, and yeah.
Hey, go. Now.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. It's weird. Everything I read is that the Wirfs kid is going to be the first one off the board and at offensive tackle, and that's interesting because if there are question marks surrounding whether or not he's an actual tackle, I find it odd that so many people think he's the first of the tackles to go.
So I think there's no question that tonight's first round of the NFL draft is the thing we're most looking forward to in quite some time. But here's a question for you. Tomorrow's coverage of the draft, you get rounds 2 and 3. Are you more excited for that, seeing what the Bucs do and what other teams do in rounds 2 and 3, or the Tiger, Phil, Peyton, Brady golf match that's supposed to happen and is going to be on TNT over probably Memorial Day weekend?
No, I'm more excited about rounds 2 and 3 of the draft.
Really? I am stunned by that answer.
Yeah, much more excited about that. I'll watch the other. And
you
that's
weren't
fine.
pumped to hear that was happening?
Yeah, I am pumped. It's an exhibition. I'll watch it. It's a live sporting event. That will be interesting. I will watch it. I do love golf. I do miss all things live sports currently, but the draft has a much greater impact on the direction of my franchise for years to come. I kind of need to see that we're locked in doing the right thing here.
Well, then that would almost beat the Super Bowl if your team's not playing in it, that the draft matters more than the Super Bowl.
I love the draft. I sometimes love the draft as much, if not more, than the Super Bowl.
It's interesting.
I love the draft.
I'd figure in this desert of no live sports anywhere, unless there's some like illegal ring in Eastern Europe where they're playing basketball.
Let me tell you, I more than anything else on a daily basis, my brother sent me a Marco Polo yesterday, and we were talking about the one that lives up in New Hampshire.
Did he reference anything about the Bruins line?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's funny. And he told me that he's finding that he's missing baseball in a way he didn't expect. It's just hurting him that he can't nightly tune into baseball. And brother, I can't echo those sentiments anymore. More, to me, more resoundingly, because there's probably not a day that goes by that I don't think about the fact that we should be watching baseball and it's not on, and it pisses me off. If you peek behind the curtain here at the ESPN studios here, we have out front in the lobby a big screen television that is during baseball season on a game. It's just always on a game. We pull it up off of one of our Xfinity accounts and we throw it up there, or our MLB package. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we've got whatever the day of the day game is, and it's just comforting. It's just nice. I don't have to be glued to it. I can, but I go out there and I get a cup of coffee or whatever I'm doing, and I watch an inning, and it's just nice to have the sights, the sounds of the ballpark. I miss it terribly, and it's I'm starting to hurt. It's like really, really troublesome, and I didn't think it would be.
So I'm starting to finally get over the no March Madness part of the sports travesty that happens. I get this is the usual spot. Life matters more, health matters more. Okay. It took until about this week before I could really shake the fact that we didn't see what Leonard's team was going to do.
Oh, yeah.
And to a degree, to a certain amount, we'll never be satisfied. But now my biggest disappointment is seeing what Mike Martin Jr.'s team would be. That baseball team, not the Mets. What Florida State baseball was going to be. Because you talk about meanness on the offensive line. That pitching staff had some meanness to it.
A whole lot of what for to it, along with skill. Real skill, and so you have the requisite makeup to get people out, to miss bats, and to tote the rubber in meaningful games and to pitch well. They did in those games. It concluded with a shutout on the road at the University of Florida in the final game in their stadium. And that was the chutzpah you're talking about to go along with the skill that I'm referencing. So, yeah, I would have liked to have seen that too. But I got past it. I think our conversation with Mike Martin Jr. last week helped me get past it. It was ready to move on. I just miss nightly going home and watching baseball.
It's hard for me because we're next week going to turn the calendar from April to May. And that's when college baseball really ramps up. Weather delays. I miss weather delays. I miss them so much. Give me a lightning delay in Tallahassee and make me pissed off that we're playing baseball at 11 p.m. because we can't get on the field. Give me that. Give me anything.
By the way, news out of Atlanta. Bring it back to the draft for a second before the hour is up. The Falcons were attempting to move up to the number 2 spot with Washington in order to draft Ohio State defensive end Chase Young. And luckily, while Washington entertained the offer, as I am fond of noting, you should always listen to offers, no matter how comfortable you are in your current position. That's either in the draft or in the workplace. Said no for now. The Falcons aggressively trying to move up all week long. We didn't know how high up they wanted to move and for what reason. Reported today by Jay Glazier that it was to number 2 with Washington to try and get Chase Young. To that, I say, I hope you fail miserably. I hope you continue to fail miserably. We do not need every team in our damn division to constantly be getting the creme de la creme at positions that can thwart our efforts to win and make the playoffs. Stop it.
It's absurd. We have the division that's the most annoying in all of football.
It's just
quarterback
always
play and edge
active,
rushers.
a gazillion Hall of Fame quarterbacks everywhere. Then they go get edge rushers. It's like, can you guys party elsewhere?
You got Sean Payton with Drew Brees, melding, Michael Thomas, Julio Jones, Christian McCaffrey. Stop.
Yes. Start screwing it up. Don't constantly be trying to win. That's our job. Hour number 2 forthcoming. Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Attention Tallahassee area hospitality workers. Metro Deli in downtown Tallahassee is serving up a free pasta dinner this Thursday from 2 to 3:30. That's right, if you are a member of the hospitality industry, make sure to bring a shirt or name tag from your place of employment and simply head to Metro Deli this Thursday at 2 p.m. to pick up a free homemade pasta dinner. The first 100 to show are eating for free. Metro Deli in downtown Tallahassee. Good people helping our own in our city. For location and takeout menu, head to MetroDeliTally.com. That's MetroDeliTally.com.
This spring, I'm making Everyday Earth Day by incorporating small actions that can create big results.
Like what?
Well, I'm starting with daily habits, turning off the lights every time I leave a room, shutting off the tap when I brush my teeth, and unplugging electronics when I'm not using them.
Those are great ideas our whole family can do.
And since we're home more, I could also use your help with a few one-time projects that could benefit us long-term, like fixing water leaks and installing our rain barrel.
I'd love to help. Right after I call the City of Tallahassee Utilities at 891-4968 to sign up for paperless billing.
Excellent! Tonight, let's ask the kids if they have any ideas about what we can do to save energy, water, and money as we celebrate Earth Day at home.
2020 marks the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, and there are many things TLH can do to celebrate at home. Get inspiration at TLHcando.com. Small actions create big results. A message from the City of Tallahassee Utilities.
Sellers Tile does it better for business owners, contractors, designers, and homeowners. Better design ideas, better quality tile, carpet, and hardwood flooring, better mosaics, ceramic, and vinyl solutions. And Sellers makes it easier with their amazing showroom and first-class professionals. Maybe it's time to get Sellers working for you on Capitol Circle Northeast, just north of Mahan Drive, or online at sellerstile.com. For better style, quality, and design, go with Sellers in Tallahassee. Call 656-8453.
AAA Tree Experts has been a Tallahassee staple for over 35 years. But did you know they now offer landscaping? AAA landscaping services include custom outdoor landscape, creative landscape design and architecture, hardscapes, waterscapes, retention walls, and French drains, irrigation and sodding, landscape and holiday lighting. Call them today for all your outdoor landscaping needs. 850-385-3319 or visit them online at AAATreeExperts.net. AAA Tree Experts and Landscaping.
Have you ever noticed when you report an accident or a claim to an insurance company, they are very eager to get you to one of their approved body shops. They say that they guarantee the shop's work, but what they're really saying is the shop works for them, not the customer. So choose a shop that is working for and looking out for you, someone you trust. It's your choice. Lisa's Paint and Body.
Lisa's Paint and Body, now located at 2820 Mahan Drive. License number MV46050.
Lane's Medical Shop has all of your home medical needs. They carry home oxygen, hospital beds, nebulizers, walkers, wheelchairs, orthotics, diabetic shoes, and all sleep apnea supplies. Lane's also has a weight loss clinic in-house, no appointment necessary, including B12 injections and any prescriptions necessary with the lowest prices around, and delivers to Tallahassee and South Georgia. Located only 40 miles from Tallahassee, go see Blake today, 210 West Main Street, Colquitt, Georgia, 229-758-9111.
In the history of your team.
With the 4th pick, with the 42nd pick, with the 12th pick.
That change everything.
Odell Beckham, Ezekiel Elliott,
Brett Favre,
Von Miller,
Russell Wilson,
Rob Gronkowski.
What will this year bring? The 2020 NFL Draft. Round 1 begins Thursday, April 23rd at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Driving every day from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
It's time to unite Tallahassee. After years of our great local restaurants serving us, It's our turn to serve them. With this simple purchase of gift cards, we can help them survive the financial toll of COVID-19. Buy them for yourself, your family, or as gifts. No doubt we'll all have a reason to go out and celebrate soon as we safely can. Go to hungertohelp.com and show your support for the heart of our community today. This message brought to you in part by your local Tallahassee radio broadcasters.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Studios in Florida's capital city. This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Redemption Thursday, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. Got a do-it-yourself project that needs to be finished? Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, 1110 Stuckey Avenue in Tallahassee and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Online at ctf.nu.
To Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Good day, friends. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you tuning in. Excited to be here on draft day. Excited to talk about the prospects of who goes where and touch on the rumors along the way. You know, you and I were talking earlier, and we will talk again about these guys and what's a sure thing and what is, and everybody wants to know what a sure thing is. And I've kept referencing the fact that Joe Burrow seems to be as close of a sure thing as you can have at that position. Because that position, there have been plenty of, not just anecdotal references to guys or stories about guys that we thought were going to be great, but then, something happened along the way that affected this or that and it didn't work out. But rather concrete evidence that at that position, when you draft a quarterback in the top 5, depending on how far back you want to go, but if you want to go back 15, 20 years, you'll find that it's about a 50-50 proposition. You've got a much better chance of getting it right if you're taking a tackle offensive. Offensive linemen tend to be a bit of if they've been dominant in college in great leagues and they have all the measurables, which they would have to have or they wouldn't be considered. And we know of the busts, Mandrich and the like, I got it. But for the most part, if you're just talking about you take a selection that is going to play on day one. So first-round pick has to help you now. Third-round pick, not always. First-round pick has to help you today. The day you sign him, he's got to be an asset that is going to help you this year. And so you're in the process of eliminating risk when you're drafting guys. There is no perfect pick, but you're trying to eliminate risk atop the draft. And so if you say, this guy is more of a sure thing than this guy, you're speaking the same language. You understand that there is no sure thing. It's just that this guy is less risky than this guy. And certain positions present less of a risk than others. Offensive line over the years, at the very least, you have a greater chance and seem to have a better opportunity to sign a guy early in the draft in the top 10 and at the very least get him to start on day one and to be a starter for a number of years. He may not dominate. He may not be a 5-time, 10-time Pro Bowler, but he's going to start for your team. He's going to be an asset to your team day one. More often than not, when we're talking about offensive line, more risky position, well, we start at quarterback, first of all, because trying to get that right, obviously, is very difficult for even the best GMs and analysts in the world. We see this all the time. Coaches get it wrong. Bill Belichick, people like that who are unquestioned. Great football minds get it wrong. Jimbo Fisher whiffed on quarterback recruiting outside of Jameis Winston. He basically whiffed. He didn't whiff with EJ, but he didn't hit a home run a lot, and he really whiffed down the stretch. His last few years, everybody he brought in here was ass.
Or they were kicked off the team.
Right.
Yeah.
So, that's whiffing. That's a miss. It's hard. It is hard because there are so many things above and beyond just throwing the football. But one of those things has to be an absurd amount of confidence. At that position more than any other, confidence, it better be there. And it better be there in a way that is bordering on arrogance and cockiness, but also in a way that is humble enough to know that you have to work, you have to prepare, you have to lead, you have to be the franchise. Because that, by definition, you touch the ball in every play, is a position of leadership. And if you have a guy who's lacking confidence in the ability to do that or doesn't outwardly show it or project it, it makes you nervous. So that, for first and foremost, is why you'd be nervous about Herbert. I don't want my potential number one pick franchise quarterback to be on the record as saying he doesn't know whether or not he can play in the NFL, which he did say. That was a mistake on his part. Whether he thinks that or not is one thing. You cannot say that. He did say it. It would make me nervous. You think that Trevor Lawrence is going to say that when he's asked? Joe Burrow certainly didn't say it. Jameis Winston didn't say it. Marcus Mariota never said anything, so I never knew what to think about him. But the point is, most of these guys that become elite, whether they're drafted there at number one or in the 6th round like Tom Brady was, they're not lacking confidence. They project and exude confidence, right? So that's got to be there. And no matter what you read about Joe Burrow and no matter what you hear from people who've had the opportunity to not only assess his play but speak to him and talk about what makes him special, every one of them reference the confidence. And I go back, to something that Kirk Herbstreit talked about before the national championship game. And Chris Fowler has mentioned it. And those guys, of course, in the preparation for that game, get an opportunity to interview coaches and players. And they both said they were almost shocked, stunned even, despite all of the numbers and the gaudy success that they had on the field as an offense in the SEC at LSU that year, that even though that was readily available, the numbers were the numbers and all of that, yeah, sure, they expected Joe Burrow to be confident, but they were taken aback by how much confidence he had before the Clemson game, in which they thought he came across, and they didn't mean it in a bad way, as almost downright arrogant when he insisted that no matter what Brent Venables brought or what the talent on Clemson's defense, what challenges they presented, no matter what, he thought that they would light them up, and he repeatedly said it.
Yeah, he said the offense was such that I've got to look one or two places on every play. Pre-snap. Before we go, I got a couple of things that we're keyed on based upon the way they look.
Yeah.
If this guy goes here, then my rules are such.
Yeah.
If he doesn't and he stays at home,
right,
well, then my rules are option B, and I know my progressions for each one of those rules.
And he knew them quickly. He knew how to get there quickly, and he understood that up to that point, and he believed in it, and it's obviously he executed it. Up to that point, nobody, no defense, not even Auburn's, which played him the best, nobody seemed to present a situation that they couldn't overcome and that he couldn't overcome. And so he went into that game, and he respected Brent Venables, but he said, I'm not worried about it. We'll light them up. And then he was asked to repeat that. You light them up? Oh, yeah, we'll light them up. and he did.
Worst wager I made of the entire college football season was a semifinal weekend. I had the under in the LSU-Oklahoma game.
Yeah.
They hit the over by halftime.
Well, Oklahoma is fond of giving up a gazillion points. It's why every time they get into this thing, we go,
I figured it'd be a 38-42 nothing kind of where they just, all right, we're done. We don't care about this game. And
they kept throwing.
They kept throwing. Yeah. And that's what he does. That's his mentality. You want that. You want a finisher. It's just like you were talking last hour about tackles. He's got that in him.
Yeah, he does.
He wants to embarrass you, not just beat you.
Yeah, and he's got the work ethic and mindset to do it, so that makes for an easy number one pick in tonight's draft. It really does. It just that one turned out to be a no-brainer. And I think Chase Young is another one of these no-brainers atop the draft board because in today's game, you got to have somebody who can absolutely get after guys like the aforementioned Joe Burrow so that they don't pick you apart for 4 quarters. And I mean, gosh, if he's not the perfect-looking prospect to do that, I mean, very few people are cookie-cutter templates for the position, and he like that works. Explosive, built, quick twitch, strong. And there's really nothing about there. You don't see elements of his game where you're like, I don't know. No, it's all there.
So does Joe Burrow make Cincinnati a team you'd actually watch and not kind of gag in your own mouth when they come on NFL Red Zone?
You know how I talk about that all the time, right?
Well, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Whenever they cut to a Cincinnati game on Red Zone, I'm like, what a waste.
Really?
This
What are we
is a
doing?
waste of time.
Yeah, nobody cares about this. Cincinnati. Oh, I'll watch. If it's a Joe Burrow highlight, I'm going to watch. He's that kind of player. I think we all were. That's true, though, of Tua. We're going to watch. If let's say the Chargers take Tua or the Dolphins take Tua, if the Red Zone cuts to a Tua highlight, you're going to be watching. You're going to try to see, because we always want to assess who these new guys are. The whole league does, especially if you go that high. Everybody wanted to watch what Jameis was and what Mariota was, and they go 1-2. You want to see what they are. I just think it's weird that after, up to this point, there are still questions surrounding Jameis. There aren't a lot of questions surrounding Mariota. But there are still questions about Jameis, which is really kind of the downside of the selection, is that you're still wondering. Greatest of highs and lowest of lows. It's all there.
Was it the right pick? And
Yeah.
I mean, your other option was Marcus Mariota or to trade out of it. But you didn't know that Brady was going to be the answer. Like, if it was they let Jameis go and Brian Hoyer was the starter next year, then it was the wrong pick. But Jameis is gone and you got Brady and you're going for it for a couple of years.
I think whoever gets Derek Brown, which I'm really worried will go to Carolina at number 7, is going to get another one of these kinds of can't-miss guys. As much as you can find a can't-miss guy in the draft, all of the tackles seem to be guys that are going to be plug-and-play starters for their respective teams, so I just hope one of them falls to the Bucs. There is a fear that Willis and Thomas and Becton and Wirfs are all off the board before even 11. That's a distinct possibility.
There's 2 fears right now
Okay.
about runs. Wide receiver runs or tackle runs.
Yeah,
And both
yeah.
could happen before you get to 12 or 13. Now, they couldn't happen simultaneously, but I'm just saying there are scenarios by which you could see teams trading up to get receiver because they got a guy, or the teams that are in that position just say, well, there's nobody else on the board. Like the Jags start the run. It's like when somebody drafts a defense in a fantasy football, they're like, whoa, well, there's one off the board. I better get my guy. So at 14, you're in that nebulous place where you could have 3 receivers off the board at that point. You could have all 4 tackles off the board at that point. It's just a matter of who's picking in the top 10 and who trades up there and what are they looking for.
I'll give you a scenario. I saw a mock today that scared the hell out of me. It started simply enough. 1-2, Burrow Young, of course. Detroit, who's been rumored all day to be trying to opt out of the number 3 pick. Let's say they stay put. Nobody takes that off their hands, and they take Okudah at 3. Giants go Wirfs at 4. Dolphins take either Tua or Herbert. The Chargers take the other. Now we're through 6 picks. At 7, Derek Brown goes to Carolina. That sucks for us. He's going to be a dominant player, and he's in the NFC South because, of course, he is. At that point, Arizona begins the run on tackles that you're alluding to, and they take Willis. Jacksonville probably doesn't go that route. I think they would take Isaiah Simmons at this point if he's there. That'd be a smart pick for them. I don't know that they'll do that, but either way.
If this plays out exactly as you're talking, then I'm getting excited for that 10 to 15-minute period because we're either going to get one of the tackles or we're going to get one of the best receivers on the board.
Well, here you go. This particular mock, if you will, goes Arizona takes Willis out of Alabama. Simmons goes to Jacksonville. Cleveland takes Thomas out of Georgia. That would be the 3rd tackle taken. The Jets then take Becton at 11. All the tackles are off the board that you would have wanted in that moment. At that point, the Raiders take CeeDee Lamb, and Gruden would do that. That makes sense. Great player. San Francisco is rumored to be willing to make a move to get up inside that top 14 because they like Jerry Jeudy. If that happens, they go get Jeudy, and the Bucs are sitting here going, do we take Henry Ruggs, which is not who you want?
Yeah. Well, it's not that I don't like him. Don't get me wrong. It's not that I don't like him. I just prefer Jeudy, but yes.
Yeah. Well, I prefer every receiver not named Henry Ruggs right now in this grouping of receivers, even Jefferson. And so then it's kind of like, all right, well, that's not good. And now you're down to the 5th tackle, which is the Josh Jones kid out of Houston in a lot of people's minds. Did you take him there, or would you just trade down?
Trade down or take Kinlaw or take a receiver.
Okay.
Who would the mock have us taking?
The Jones kid out of Houston.
Oh, my.
Yes.
Oh, well, that would be disappointing. I'd have to walk away from the TV for a little bit.
Well, I mean, it's because we didn't watch Houston's offensive tackle. I didn't watch Josh Jones play. I've read about him. I've seen his highlights like everybody else has, but I didn't invest in Houston
you've got to trust
football.
Jason Light for a night or 6 months.
And that's up and down. You never know what you're going to get with that. And if that happens, by the way, all of a sudden you're not in love with the pick. Meanwhile, you'd be yelling at your screen because the Chasen kid, edge rusher at LSU, would have been there. Not necessarily we're going to take him, although you could use one for the future. You could have had the Kinlaw guy out of South Carolina at defensive tackle, and you wouldn't have chosen him at that point.
It's not a bad insurance policy. I don't know if the Bucs are thinking it, but to get Chase on, because Barrett's on a franchise tag, you're going to find out if he's good or not this year, for real, when teams started counting for him from week 1. And Pierre-Paul is old. So that's not a terrible pick.
Well, it's not. I would listen, if I wouldn't mind trading down to late first round at that point and acquiring a second to maybe work a deal for Cam Akers at some point,
or even a top end third at that point.
Because here's why. You can get the Ezra Cleveland kid out of Boise State at 28, 29, 30. So you could trade down if somebody's a willing partner there and accumulate another valuable pick. I would do that if all my tackles were gone and I still got to take one. Well, I ain't taking him at 14 if I can get him at 29.
Right. That would be part of the reason for the disappointment. It's like, who are you bidding against?
Yeah.
We're going to take don't do that. Come on.
I made you nervous. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
During this current health crisis, our homes have never been more important. They are the gathering place for our families. They are our schools, our entertainment, and our protection. We know this has taken some getting used to, but we also know we will get through it together. So here's to the home. May it always be a place of comfort for you. A reminder from your friends at Barron-O Heating and Air, following CDC measures to protect your family and ours.
This spring, I'm making Everyday Earth Day by incorporating small actions that can create big results.
Like what?
Well, I'm starting with daily habits, turning off the lights every time I leave a room, shutting off the tap when I brush my teeth, and unplugging electronics when I'm not using them.
Those are great ideas our whole family can do.
And since we're home more, I could also use your help with a few one-time projects that could benefit us long-term, like fixing water leaks and installing our rain barrel.
I'd love to help. Right after I call the City of Tallahassee Utilities at 891-4968 to sign up for paperless billing.
Excellent. Tonight, let's ask the kids if they have any ideas about what we can do to save energy, water, and money as we celebrate Earth Day at home.
2020 marks the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, and there are many things TLH can do to celebrate at home. Get inspiration at TLHCanDo.com. Small actions create big results. A message from the City of Tallahassee Utilities.
Not all law firms are equal, so here's why Fonville Lewis Mesher McConaughey was recently voted Tallahassee's best law firm. First, we only take real cases. If your car was barely bumped and you think you're going to get rich, we're not the firm for you. We limit our practice to serious cases with legitimate claims. Second, we only take cases involving real injuries. If you know you aren't hurt but think you can fool your way into a quick settlement, we're not the firm for you. We encourage our clients to heal up and get better, not sit on the couch and expect a windfall. Third, we don't want clients who are just in it for the money. If the very first thing you think of after getting hurt is calling pound something or other on your cell phone instead of calling 911, we're not the firm for you. Your health should always come first. And finally, we won't blow smoke about a big money outcome just to get your case. Other firms overpromise and underdeliver. Our only promise is that we'll work harder than anyone to get you the best result. Remember, the law firm you have representing you makes all the difference, so don't settle for less. Call Fonville Lewis Mesher McConaughey and let us put our reputation to work for you.
Oh, yes, you've thought about it, but now it's time to enjoy the moss-drenched live oak, rolling hills, and pristine greens of Southwood Golf Club. Our friends at Southwood Golf Club offer individual, family, and student memberships, and now offer the all-in membership. That's right. Never pay a cart fee when you play. Don't forget, at Southwood Golf Club, it's not just about the golf. Hit the clubhouse for brunch, or maybe enjoy trivia night, live music, happy hour, and all-you-can-eat night specials, too. For membership information or to join right now, just call 850-942-4653. Southwood Golf Club is ready to make you a member. 850-942-4653.
Sellers Tile does it better for business owners, contractors, designers, and homeowners. Better design ideas, better quality tile, carpet, and hardwood flooring, better mosaics, ceramic, and vinyl solutions. And Sellers makes it easier with their amazing showroom and first-class professionals. Maybe it's time to get Sellers working for you on Capitol Circle Northeast, just north of Mahan Drive, or online at sellerstile.com. For better style, quality, and design, go with Sellers in Tallahassee. Call 656-8453.
Right now, you can get family dinners to go with curbside pickup at Gordo's North Side. That's right, all day, every day after 4 p.m. Please pay with a credit card. Bring your own pen to sign the receipt. And they want to thank you, and so do I, for supporting your local restaurants at a time where they need it most. By the way, I'm looking at these meals. Woo! First of all, give them a call, 850-727-5914. And order of the, Tom, you want to help me out here? Because I don't think you want me doing this. Lechon asado.
Yeah. Lechon asado.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
Arroz con polo.
Arroz con pollo.
4 Cubans.
4 Cubans.
Polo a la plancha.
Pollo a la plancha.
There you go. That's like beans and rice, right? With some plantains. Boom.
Well, the arroz con pollo is plantains and a chicken salad. Roast pork is the lechon asado.
GordosCubanFood.com. Ta-da!
Seminole Headlines Podcast Edition is presented to you by the Morgan Law Group, representing the policyholder, going after the insurance companies. Offices, Miami, Orlando, Naples, and Panama City. Online at policyadvocate.com. This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Hope you're well. Thanks for listening to it. And these trades are not happening fast enough, Tom. I've asked for the trades to begin. I thought when we came on the air at 3 o'clock that they would happen fast and furious. There was a rumor a minute leading up to the draft, leading up to the start of the show, I should say. And then all of a sudden it stopped.
My hope is that the trades begin around 6:25 p.m. That'd be nice. Sit down, put on the TV. Oh, my goodness.
It's happening. One thing did happen today, not all that long ago. The New England Patriots did sign former Jacksonville Jaguars wide receiver Marquise Lee and to a one-year contract, according to Adam Schefter. He became a free agent, of course, on April the 20th and was released by the Jaguars. He's 28 years old. He has had some injuries in his career. A lot of people thought he would be a game changer way back when he was drafted in the second round, 2014. He has not been that, but he's been a good player when he's healthy. Only played in 6 games, though, and 3 catches for 18 yards after signing a 4-year contract worth $34 million and $16.5 guaranteed in March of 2018. So that'll hurt your feelings.
That would hurt your feelings.
He missed the 2018.
You rapid fired that, but I'm
processing
letting
that
seep
for a second,
in, man.
yeah.
Woo, that's no good.
Yeah, he missed the 2018 season after suffering a torn ACL, MCL, and PCL. That too will hurt your feelings.
All that's missing is the LCL.
Yeah, it is consistent with what Bill Belichick does, of course, is identify highly touted players with high-end talent but who have not lived up to it. Bring them in, hope like hell you catch them desperately playing for another contract, and you get the best out of them because they have everything to gain. They have ability that's been hampered by injury, but it's in there, and they'll take a flyer on them. Why wouldn't you if you're the Patriots? I mean, my God, you've got zero talent on your offense right now. You're bringing him to be joined by Julian Edelman, who's 105 years old. You have a decent role player of a receiver, maybe more than that. I shouldn't say a role player of a receiver. He's a nice complement to any receiving core in Mohamed Sanu. But other than that,
I was surprised that didn't turn out a little bit better. Sanu's a good player. Maybe it was just that Brady's heart wasn't in it. And that's one thing that if you're a Bucs fan, you're hoping. Brady said it to his closest people before the year started. He felt like his time was up. And you wonder if his heart not being in it, somebody who's as driven as Tom is, if that didn't impact the product on the field.
He knew they were going to let him be a free agent. He knew they were going to let him walk. And I think at that point, you're fighting a lot of things. Listen, this goes back a little. I think if anything, he's got some juice. He found some juice, man. I think you're going to get a hard-working red ass that walking into Tampa. I think he's got something to prove. It's the only reason that I'm okay with the deal is that I think whatever he does have in there, he's going to get every ounce of it out of him because I think he wants to show that he's elite whether he's with Bill or not. And I know that's true, and you know that's true, but the talk around football is always going to be, for both of them, could they have done this without the other? And it's in many parts unfair, but also understandable. It's completely understandable. So he's got a lot of what for. I think he probably going back to when Bill Belichick was all too eager to move on from Tom Brady, while he still had some good years left in him, by the way, to go with Jimmy G. Once he made that known and kind of was public about it in a way, I mean, he didn't exactly deny that he would have been okay with starting Garoppolo. Yeah, man, I think that probably began to fracture the relationship somewhat. You can't help but feel a little bit disgruntled over something like that. And on the one hand, you'd be saying to yourself, my man, it's not like I haven't won you 5 Super Bowls.
But I fully understand where Bill's.
I do
not
too.
to relitigate it, but it's this is uncharted territory. You could kind of see this is the way we were going with the strike zone rules for hitting quarterbacks, but still, I mean, at some point, putting in golf goes in your early to mid 40s, even if you're the best of golfers and you have an extended prime. Like, you wonder what facet of his game will go first. Do you think it's the deep ball like it is for Drew Brees? Would it be the touch passes over the middle? Would it be the mental toughness to hang in there and trade a hit from an oncoming defender for a 25-yard dime outside the hash marks? I mean, at 42, nobody's done it. This guy might until he's 45 or 46. Who knows? He could sign an extension in Tampa because it works and he's just that good and he can play for that long.
Well, that'd be great because that means we're getting a 3 or 4 year window of Tom Brady, and it would mean that he played really well in the first 2. So great. If that happens, we're maybe going to win a Super Bowl. The thing of it is, I get where if you're Bill Belichick, you have to protect yourself and the franchise. If you plan on being there for the next 5 to 10 years, it's your job to look at quarterbacks coming out in the draft or guys that you have on your roster or a player like Jimmy G that's showing you something in practice to say, at some point, my guy's going to fall off a cliff. History tells me that it's going to happen, and we better not be sitting here with our pants around our ankles. We better have a plan in place. And so I have no problem, I've said that before, with him looking at a guy and starting to notice that he has perhaps what it takes to guide a franchise, or at least is somebody emerging that you could mold to help you win games. And at the same time, if I'm Tom Brady, I got no problem if a guy who's so hyper-competitive and wants to win at all costs and has won around every turn and proven everybody wrong time and again, has played with a chip on his shoulder the entirety of his career because he was drafted in the 6th round, if he doesn't resent some of the fact that that coach is looking elsewhere after all you've brought. Yeah, I get both sides of that.
The Belichick talk, the Patriots side of this thing, it's not over, especially if Belichick takes a quarterback in the first couple of rounds. Because what the world's going to do is say, oh, he really likes this diamond in the rough. They found they're going to give him the respect, whether or not that's warranted. He drafted Ryan Mallett also.
Yes.
Whether or not it's warranted, that conversation will exist. That will be, if they take Jordan Love tonight, let's say they trade up a few spots to go grab Jordan Love. People are going to say, oh, wow. So he had this earmarked all along. It's all part of the plan. Belichick's going to do it again. And you'll just have to sit through the offseason and wait and see.
I wouldn't feel very comfortable as a Patriots fan with my current offensive personnel and Jarrett Stidham leading the way. So if they did that, I would accept that we're about to go through one hell of a rebuilding process. And I would like to get getting with the getting, as I say. Let's get with the getting. Go ahead and get that guy and start molding him. See how quickly you can get them up to snuff.
Accept the suckage. That's what the entire NFL fan base would say, outside of one market. Like I said, it was weird. I was in Disney World when they played Tennessee, and I'm at the downstairs bar at the Dolphin Hotel, someplace I hope I can go to at any point in the near future.
It would be nice,
year
right?
and a half. And the whole world, it was like the United Nations of football, they're golf clapping when the Patriots finally lost and Brady throws a pick six. Everybody's just golf clapping. 2 Patriots fans just slumping in their chairs, and everybody's going, "Come on, guys."
I mean, you can't win
come
every
on.
single year.
It's been 20 years.
Yes.
It's the year 2020. It's going to be all right.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I laugh about is what a time. Tonight's draft is interesting on every level, but it's especially interesting in that division. My God, those poor bastards. They have been on the wrong side of it for 20 years. I mean, if you're a Bills, Jets, or Dolphins fan, this is the first time you've seen the light going into a draft. Because, honestly, it never came to fruition. So no matter what you did, no matter who you took, any one of those franchises, you knew what you were doing. You were playing for the wild card. You weren't going to beat the Patriots, and you knew it.
Yeah.
You knew it. You were sitting around going, well, we may have gotten the best player in the draft. It won't be good enough to overcome Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots, but at least we could finish second, maybe win 10 games and get to the playoffs.
Yeah, the Castle year, I think.
It went 11-5. It's crazy.
It was the Dolphins who won the division, but then they get bounced in the first round by the Ravens, I think.
I can't remember.
I think that's how it played out.
Yeah.
But yeah, the one year that you get a crack at it. And that's where I'm just, I'll be a broken record. I'm so concerned for the Dolphins because they're going to trade up to 3. They're like, it's over. Brady's gone. Trade up to 3. All right, Tua, here we go. And with the 3rd pick, Andrew Thomas, tackle, Georgia. Oh, my God.
Wouldn't be a terrible pick, but it won't move the needle for them. They'll be like, really? That's not what we did here. At least they have a coach they believe in, though. They got a guy.
So Jeff Darlington put out on Twitter a little while ago that the latest thing he's heard from people inside the Dolphins organization has him feeling like Russell Crowe, and it's a beautiful mind, and he's wondering what's real and what's not. He says, I'm going to stop. I'm just stopping.
Can't do it right now. Yeah.
I can't know because what I was just told is so mind-blowing, it makes absolutely no sense that I'm going to stop asking. Think of that if you're a Dolphins fan, and that's all you're hearing from anybody who's got any inside intel. They have no idea what the hell's going to happen. That's Raiders-esque. That's Cowboys-esque.
Yeah, but sometimes, even in the midst of that, you emerge with Ezekiel Elliott. It works. You know, sometimes
you get Darius Hayward-Bay.
Yeah, well, when a certain owner with wispy hair was alive, you were guaranteed to get the receiver that A, nobody wanted because he couldn't catch the ball in college, and B, ran a 4.2 40. Is there a really fast receiver in this draft that simply can't catch? That's who the Raiders are going to take if Al Davis has any say.
Mortensen.
It's Jeff Cameron Show 97.9 ESPN Radio.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
AAA Tree Experts has been a Tallahassee staple for over 35 years. But did you know they now offer landscaping? AAA landscaping services include custom outdoor landscape, creative landscape design and architecture, hardscapes, waterscapes, retention walls, and French drains, irrigation and sodding, landscape and holiday lighting. Call them today for all your outdoor landscaping needs. 850-385-3319 or visit them online at AAATreeExperts.net. AAA Tree Experts and Landscaping.
Tallahassee's tastiest jumbo wings are back in force. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill is now open daily from 4 to 9 p.m. for all your takeout needs. Enjoy an all-day, everyday special of 10 wings and a basket of fries for just $10. Plus, have the Corner Pocket make you a signature to-go beer or liquor beverage as well. Red Russians, anybody? Just call 574-2724 for your wing order today. That's 574-2724 for the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Or to stop by and order in person, please use the outdoor deck. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachian Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
It's time to unite Tallahassee. After years of our great local restaurants serving us, it's our turn to serve them. With this simple purchase of gift cards, we can help them survive the financial toll of COVID-19. Buy them for yourself, your family, or as gifts. No doubt we'll all have a reason to go out and celebrate soon as we safely can. Go to hungertohelp.com and show your support for the heart of our community today. This message brought to you in part by your local Tallahassee radio broadcasters.
Hi, I'm Jeff, founder of Which Superior Sandwiches, and I'm here to tell you about our signature Which, the Wicked. Why call it the Wicked? Some say it's wicked tasty, some say it's wicked large. One thing's for sure, with oven-roasted turkey, ham, pepperoni, roast beef, and bacon, as well as your choice of 3 cheeses, it definitely takes you from wicked hungry to wicked happy in just a few wicked good bites. Only at Which Superior Sandwiches.
On Wednesday, the Wicked is just $5. 5 meats, 3 cheeses, $5.
Hey, everybody, it's good news, and we could use some good news right about now. Getting family dinners to go with curbside pickup at Bumpa's, well, it's easy to do, and it's all day, every day. You're going to want to pay with a credit card, bring your own PIN to sign the receipt, and they want to thank you, so do I, for supporting your local restaurants when they need it most. By the way, if you call, it's 850-999-8652. And here's Rick Pitino to give you the menu items.
Pasta alla vodka. You get chicken, garlic bread, and it's a nice round price. Secondly, you got 20 wings. You got chicken fingers too, fries, onion rings on the side. Nice, also good for the family of 4. 2 racks of ribs with mac and cheese and broccoli. You could sub in some fries or rings if you want instead too, but those racks of ribs, absolutely delicious. Just beautiful.
Or you can order, Rick, from the regular menu. It's bumpus349.com.
The whole shebang.
Sellers Tile does it better for business owners, contractors, designers, and homeowners. Better design ideas, better quality tile, carpet, and hardwood flooring, better mosaics, ceramic, and vinyl solutions. And Sellers makes it easier with their amazing showroom and first-class professionals. Maybe it's time to get Sellers working for you on Capitol Circle Northeast, just north of Mahan Drive, or online at sellerstile.com for better style, quality, and design. Go with Sellers in Tallahassee. Call 656-8453.
There are moments in the history of your team.
With the 4th pick, with the 42nd pick, with the 12th pick.
That change everything.
Odell Beckham, Ezekiel Elliott,
Brett Favre,
Von Miller,
Russell Wilson,
Rob Gronkowski.
What will this year bring? The 2020 NFL Draft. Round 1 begins Thursday, April 23rd at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Studios in Florida's capital city. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Redemption Thursday, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. Got a do-it-yourself project that needs to be finished? Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, 1110 Stuckey Avenue in Tallahassee and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Online at ctf.nu.
Treat me like you want it, not like you have to keep me around.
I do look forward to the first person we see smoking a cigar or a cigarette or something when they cut to them in their house.
Joe Burrow. That's his trademark.
I'm picturing Jerry Jones smoking a huge cigar. Clearly visible glass of brandy off to the left. He thinks is off camera.
Here it comes. Jalen Hurts.
Oh, man. So my favorite part of today is the uncertainty of Dolphins fans right now and potentially not taking Tua, and rather Justin Herbert, who that's a mistake. And then B, I think the other part of me that's laughing is, and how predictable this would be, and is currently, after reading numerous stories that seem to suggest it's heated, the Lions brass are arguing amongst each other. They do not see eye to eye as to what to do at number 3. And here's your problem. Matt Patricia is not exactly wowing the folks there in Detroit. Kind of has to get it right here. Needs to do well. It is said that he wants Derek Brown. Now, I'm just an outsider. I'm looking from afar. I agree with you, Matt Patricia.
Way to go, pencil man.
You should take Derek Brown over Jeff Okudah. That's what you should do. Bob Quinn's the GM. He wants Okudah. Both of their jobs are on the line. So you could imagine that they're arguing vehemently here on this pick. It's a big damn deal. I would love to be a fly on the wall. I love this stuff.
Stand down. I'm the head coach.
How much power does Patricia have? How much power does Quinn have? Who's going to win out in that argument? It will affect the number 3 pick in the draft.
Matt, you look like a slob. You can't make this pick based upon your own media rules.
Yeah. Respect the process, Matt. I'm the GM. We're taking a corner.
For God's sakes, put on a shirt and tie.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there's that situation that's fascinating. I think it's also potentially interesting what the Chargers end up doing. Tom Telesco is the GM there. He doesn't, from what I've read, speak to anybody ever in a build-up to these things. Nobody can get a read on what the Chargers want to do at all. Nobody knows. Like every other team at least will float out, well, we like this guy, this guy, this guy. The Chargers are the lone team that everybody's kind of like, we have no idea. Nobody says a peep over there.
I believe they're still holding their fan watch party tonight because they know it would be okay under social distancing regulations.
Yeah, they don't have to worry about it.
No.
But nobody knows what they're going to do. They're not even sure the Chargers, who don't currently have a quarterback worth a damn on their roster, whether or not they're going to go quarterback. They feel like the odd man out of the National Football League, and it feels like they did it to themselves, the dumbasses. They were relevant in San Diego.
They win Uniform Day, though. That's what they win. And they just had it. Their Super Bowl has come, and it is gone.
Apparently, Carolina is one of the few guarantees in the top 10. They are going to go defense no matter what. They're likely going to go defensive line. If Brown's off the board, that would be devastating to them because that's their guy. That's who they've circled. That's who they want. It's also a smart pick. Jacksonville fans, the latest out of Jacksonville is that they could trade down out of the number 9 spot. Or they could desperately put together a package to move up. And some people believe if that's the case, it's because they want one of the quarterbacks. That they don't believe in Minshew.
After all of this.
Yes.
Anybody who speaks about Minshew gets traded.
Yeah. Washington wanted a second-rounder for Trent Williams. They couldn't get it, so they may end up having to entice with more action here. If they want to move around, it doesn't look like that.
I guess they came to their senses when it was O.J. Howard for Trent Williams straight up that almost made it. That would have been something.
Everybody that's writing about the draft and the Bucs situation, speaking of which, is saying that they should probably trade Howard today and no later than by tomorrow night if they want to get anything for him at all. So I guess keep an eye out for that tonight, whether or not they use Howard as some sort of prop to get moved around or moved down or get more picks or I don't know what the hell.
OJ, your thoughts? I'll figure it out in a couple of months.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, TSparkConstruction.com.
planning on expanding or renovating your home or business? Did you know that these construction projects start with preliminary work such as professional sets of drawings and proper engineering? Before you apply for financing or sign a lease agreement, allow our team of contractors, architects, and engineers to assist you with planning and budgeting. Hello, I'm Travis, owner of T-Spark Enterprises, and I am here because we want your project to launch on the right foot. Call us today and we will take care of your construction needs. We aim to provide work that will exceed your expectations, guaranteeing picture-perfect results.
Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, TSparkConstruction.com.
License number CGC 1525336.
Sellers Tile does it better for business owners, contractors, designers, and homeowners. Better design ideas, better quality tile, carpet, and hardwood flooring, better mosaics, ceramic, and vinyl solutions. And Sellers makes it easier with their amazing showroom and first-class professionals. Maybe it's time to get Sellers working for you on Capitol Circle Northeast, just north of Mahan Drive, or online at sellerstile.com for better style, quality, and design. Go with Sellers in Tallahassee. Call 656-8453.
Have you ever noticed when you report an accident or a claim to an insurance company, they are very eager to get you to one of their approved body shops. They say that they guarantee the shop's work, but what they're really saying is the shop works for them, not the customer. So choose a shop that is working for and looking out for you, someone you trust. It's your choice. Lisa's Paint and Body.
Lisa's Paint and Body, now located at 2820 Mahan Drive. License number MV46050.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Apple TV just came out with this documentary directed by Spike Jonze. I don't have Apple TV. I wanted to see this. I will see it. It'll make its way on the interwebs somehow, right? Beastie Boys documentary? I would think so.
Eventually, yeah. Or you could just do a 7-day free trial and then cancel it.
How much is Apple TV per month, guys? Go ahead, just throw it on my Twitter account, at Jay Cameron Show. Let me know.
I'm assuming it would be like $10, right?
I don't know. I mean, I connected everywhere else. I might as well just have it.
Because you connect to everything else?
Apple TV. I mean,
Yeah.
I've got Apple everything else. I've got my MacBook Pro. I've got an iPhone. I've got, all kinds of iPads.
Yeah, the death blow to cable companies will be when the Super Bundle happens. We've got a couple of them that are close, like Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and Hulu, but you can't get Hulu Plus without the commercials.
Yeah, that's nonsense.
It's like it's $15 a month or $12.95, whatever it is. But if they said plus to all three of those, I could tell you we would have already bundled.
The problem is, again, until this thing is hardwired into your cable, box, into your TV, then you run the risk.
Well, I think that's what cable companies should do eventually. It's
Just
probably where
continue
they're
doing-
trending.
yeah.
I mean, think about what Xfinity's doing with
Amazon.
Netflix, Amazon Prime. You've got them
Smart.
piped into the box. Well, your modem for your house can serve as your Wi-Fi base and then your app base.
Yeah.
And then that's it. That's what they do for you.
We need that at all times because I can't cut cords, even if I wanted to, if I'm solely reliant on the internet for a good quality, uninterrupted stream. Ain't going to happen.
No, yeah, just take a look at the technology of live sports shows right now and tell me the internet is up to speed.
Right.
Like years ago, it was SVP it was Russillo and Cannell. They came down to Madison Social. Remember that? They did the show.
I do.
I forget which weekend that was.
Yeah.
And we did a site visit with them just to give them a consult on what we know locally in the town. And I talked to the dude who's in charge of all the engineering. And I said, please tell me that you've got something better than an ISDN phone line connection.
And he said no.
He said, no, there's nothing better than an ISDN
And
phone
we've been
line.
pissed about that for years,
And I
and
said-
I've complained to you about it, and you're like, Jeff, this is what they have at ESPN. What do you want me to do?
Like, dude, this is 2015. You're telling me that the best technology from 20, 25 years ago has not been bettered at any point? He goes, nope.
Yeah, yes, I get that, but they have a better brand of it or something because I do know that for certain SiriusXM broadcasts when they're covering the Masters. They have no problem ever. There's never any problem, and they're at a place that is packed.
It's because they do the Jerry's World dedicated internet line.
Yeah.
Like they give you the terabyte on terabyte upload and download speeds. And what this guy was concerned about is, well, there's going to be a surge of people into College Town on that day. We're going to lose bandwidth.
Yes, you're screwed.
Yeah, because the city of Tallahassee doesn't have the pipeline the way that Augusta probably is invested to make sure they have the pipeline.
And it's awesome. I mean, they have no problems ever. There's nobody cutting out. They're cutting the people all over the damn course. They got everything under the sun, and they're able to do it. And it's like, okay, well, there is a way to do a broadcast. But when we would do it, if it's game day, you got 70,000 people roaming around Doak. You're just kind of at the whim.
Yeah.
You're screwed.
Well, if somebody kicks the line or
yeah.
it flooded one year. Remember that?
I do remember that.
Right by the Unconquered statue. That thing flooded.
Oh, that was crazy.
I remember the day of the Georgia Tech game in 2009. I was wearing all black because I wanted Bobby
blackout, yeah.
Bumped into Leonard Hamilton. Literally bumped into him. He's getting a snow cone right there at the at
My
Langford.
man, Leonard Hamilton getting a
And he's
snow
like,
cone.
hello,
Of
young
course
fella. He goes, hello, young fella. And I was like, hi, coach. Sorry, man. I'm just pulling the internet line. I said, by the way, I'm not wearing. You're great, man. This is for the
nothing
football
to do with
coach.
you, yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
good,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Keep doing what you're doing. He's like, okay, buddy. I'll see you later.
Yeah. So anything weird tonight? Burrow, Young, that's easy 1-2. I think the madness begins at 3, and I think we're on our way. And I hope it is one after the other moment where we're saying, wow, they just did this. They just moved here. This team's coming up. Look at that. It does figure to be the wildest draft that we can remember. And if you're just looking at transactions or potential transactions that are being discussed, I know misinformation is at a premium right now. It's everywhere. All of these teams are trying to confuse the others about what their intentions are, what they desire, what they don't desire, the moves they're willing to make or not make. All that's out there. It always is on actual draft day. And the closer you get to it, the more you hear about these things. But this is unlike any draft we've ever experienced in the modern era. And there is a lot of uncertainty, unknown commodities because they could not do as thorough an examination of these prospects as they could at any other time in the past. And so I think there's just a willingness to move picks and move guys and make trades. If a team is zeroed in on a guy that they know they feel good about. I also heard this floated out there, and I think it's an interesting sort of. It's not exactly a conspiracy theory per se. But it is sort of a black helicopter type thing, a little bit. If you're an owner, billionaire, you want to win, you're invested, you think one of these quarterbacks is your guy, one of these receivers, one of these running backs, and any one of them may have had an injury that has kind of left you uncertain. You've heard from people that they're okay. You've seen some video they've released that makes you think they're okay. Hey, what's keeping you from getting your doctors over there? Come on. Secret meetings. Just look, we want to take you. We want to pay you. We believe in you. But I'm going to need my guy to look at you. He'll wear a suit. He'll have a mask.
Yeah,
you don't have to worry about it. But, we're flying him into your little town there, private plane. We got this. You don't tell anybody. I won't tell anybody.
No, well, the Gronk physical happened in the dead of night. He gave permission to the Patriots to recommend a doctor to him, and they said okay. And this is the provision for the trade to the Bucs is he had to pass a physical. He had to check the knees, and he had to check the back, and check everything because that man's been a bionic player for years. And he went through the process. Nobody knew about it. It was already done. So when the trade was announced, Schefter didn't have it. Rappaport didn't have it until a couple hours later.
But it was already done, yeah.
It was already done. He already passed it.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. I just feel like, I read that somewhere. I heard that on a podcast somewhere. And the more I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, if you're going to spend millions of dollars and make somebody a franchise anything, and the only thing standing in the way of you making that pick or not making that pick is you're unclear or uncertain about the medicals. I mean, look, we've got people. We can get this done. I can fly people in and out of places, and you can keep it a secret, and I'll keep it a secret, and we'll make sure we're all safe here. We got our gloves on and our masks on and everything else, but we got to know that you're good to go.
If you're Tua, though, wouldn't you just play, poker at that point and say, no, I'm good, man?
I don't know.
Trust the NFL report.
I don't know. I mean, I think if I'm Tua and I've had the injury history that I've had with both ankles and a screwed up wrist, which everybody forgets about, and then, of course, I got my hips caved in. I don't know. I want to get picked. If I know I'm going to pass that physical, if I'm in shape.
Yeah. Or you could just say, pass me at your own peril, man, and play the game.
I guess. I want my money, and if I'm going to go at 3 because somebody believes in me and they just need to know, okay, come on.
What's interesting is if he didn't have the hip issue.
That hip is a big deal.
Many draft experts, and many people who are connected at least, think that he might have gone number 1 over Burrow. And I find that interesting because you've got 2 screws, one in each shin, or one in each an ankle. Yeah. You had your ankles reconstructed.
Well,
consecutive years. Well, I mean, listen, those are stabilizers, and that's great.
Yeah. It's not quite the same as total reconstruction. I know what you're saying. There's instability there. There are
You've
question
got
marks.
metal crap in each ankle. Like, that's not enough concern if you see what Burrow did to just take Joe at number 1?
I don't think that
the
Tua
hip
would
was
have
the
gone,
thing that put you over the top?
I don't think Tua would have gone number 1. That's, of course, we're all free to speculate now, and I think he's been a great player. He's making all of the throws. When he's healthy, he puts up ungodly numbers. He, at times, looked like one of the best prospects coming out of college in the last 10 years. I think sometimes we get to a point where we really do. We get oversaturated with information and we overthink the room. And just that's a really, really talented player. Now, I do have concerns about his injury history. Those are legitimate concerns. And that would cause me to pause. Joe Burrow had a season the likes of which we've never seen. Mm-hmm. We've never seen somebody have the season he just had. And moreover, that tape doesn't lie. He is so good laterally in the pocket. He is so good with somebody in his face, which very few people are. He's tough. He's got the charisma. He's got the arm strength. He's got the accuracy. He's got the what for and moxie you want. The confidence is brimming. You can see it, but it's the right kind of cocky like I described yesterday. I don't know how you would pass on Joe Burrow. He went and took it, man. He went and took it. It was Tua's and maybe even a couple of other guys to have that one pick, that number 1 draft pick, and he just went and took it.
Don't you think you'd call Joe Brady, and say, did he have all the answers to the test? What the hell were you teaching that kid that he could have that meteoric kind of a rise from one season to the next?
I would want to talk to him because I'd want to know what makes him so special, but I could see with my own eyes when I look at the film that he's got all the answers.
Yeah.
He always had all the answers. Look at the national championship game. He's going against the best defensive coordinator in football. They've got him pinned down inside the 5 time and again. He's frustrated. He looks a little lost. He's getting angrier. You can see it. Those are empty drives. Can't afford to have empty drives against Clemson. Can't afford to be in a situation with Trevor Lawrence and the Clemson offense. You're on the precipice here of this thing turning into a race you can't win, right? And he never showed outward signs of panic. More importantly, he intelligently made some adjustments. They did. Brady did. Obviously, Joe Brady did. And he executed it to a T. It took the one big throw where he bought a little extra time on the right side, down the sideline, pinpoint accuracy. There it is. We've lifted the lid on this secondary. Now you've got to defend the whole field, and now I'm going to pick you apart, and I'm going to run at the right times. I'm going to take a hit when I have to take a hit to get the first down. I'm going to burn you with a pass in a window the size of a hand. I'm going to do everything I can do down the field, intermediate, underneath, you name it. He had all the answers, and that was against an elite defense with elite players and an elite coordinator. I don't know that.
Yeah, and he got off to a slow start. He didn't front run. Yeah, it's important to see if somebody can be something other than a front runner. And that would be the argument against Tagovailoa versus
He never
Burrow.
had to be, yeah.
Didn't really.
Although he did come
He was
in a
pulled the
national
one time.
championship game down 2 touchdowns.
But he was pulled. I know there might be, injury that goes into it as well, but I'm sure Nick was scratching his head in the first half of that game in which Hurts comes in and lights the world on fire.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
some of the choices are just absurd.
We do pick everybody apart because you have to.
You have to in the top 5.
I think they're both great, and I think I think whoever gets both of those guys are going to be really happy. I mean, obviously Cincinnati's about to get Joe Burrow, and we know the long history of Cincinnati screwing people up, but this is as can't miss as you can get, and we know there's no certainty. There's no such thing as a 100% guarantee that the guy's going to pan out. We've watched this happen time and again, but all you're doing is trying to eliminate risk, and you're trying to eliminate the chances that you take, and this guy gives you about the best bet on the board. It's not really that close.
Other than Chase Young. If you didn't need a quarterback.
Now at a different position, yes, Chase Young seems to be about as sure as bad as Joe Burrow does at the other position. I think you're right about that. Final hour forthcoming. Stay with. Hey, everybody, it's good news, and we could use some good news right about now. Getting family dinners to go with curbside pickup at Bumpa's, well, it's easy to do, and it's all day, every day. You're going to want to pay with a credit card, bring your own PIN to sign the receipt, and they want to thank you, so do I, for supporting your local restaurants when they need it most. By the way, if you call, it's 850-999-8652. And here's Rick Pitino to give you the menu items.
Pasta alla vodka. You get chicken, garlic bread, and it's a nice round price. Secondly, you got 20 wings. You got chicken fingers too, fries, onion rings on the side. Nice, also good for the family of 4. 2 racks of ribs with mac and cheese and broccoli. You could sub in some fries or rings if you want instead too, but those racks of ribs, absolutely delicious. Just beautiful.
Or you can order, Rick, from the regular menu. It's bumpus349.com.
The whole shebang.
Who's ready for the best wings in Tally and locally brewed beers? Hobbit American Grill is the place to be. They've been voted Tally's best wings again in 2018. Hobbit offers Bingo Mondays, happy hour all-day Fridays with craft beers on tap from all the local breweries. And the Hobbit is your home for all the UFC fights with plenty of high-def TVs for everyone. Be on the lookout for the food truck coming soon with the best lip-smacking wings in town. Hobbit American Grill, celebrating 40 years of serving great food to great friends for good times. For info on their hours and 3 locations, visit them online at myhobbitonline.com.
During this current health crisis, our homes have never been more important. They are the gathering place for our families. They are our schools, our entertainment, and our protection. We know this has taken some getting used to, but we also know we will get through it together. So here's to the home. May it always be a place of comfort for you. A reminder from your friends at Barron-O Heating and Air, following CDC measures to protect your family and ours.
Driving every day from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Studios, this is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
It's time to unite Tallahassee. After years of our great local restaurants serving us, it's our turn to serve them. With this simple purchase of gift cards, we can help them survive the financial toll of COVID-19. Buy them for yourself, your family, or as gifts. No doubt we'll all have a reason to go out and celebrate soon as we safely can. Go to hungertohelp.com and show your support for the heart of our community today. This message brought to you in part by your local Tallahassee radio broadcasters.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Studios in Florida's capital city. This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Redemption Thursday, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. Got a do-it-yourself project that needs to be finished? Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, 1110 Stuckey Avenue in Tallahassee and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Online at ctf.nu.
All programs. This is the Radio Crash on Pirate Satellite.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for today. Thanks for tuning to it. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. We welcome in actual sports news, current, pressing, pertinent. Man, nice to have the draft back tonight. Now, in the interest of transparency, I have to tell you, this hour we decided to put in the can. We did this earlier today, right before we came on the air at 3 o'clock. We got together at 2 o'clock and put together this 5 o'clock hour. Got that? Yeah, that's how that happened because, I don't know, tornado warning didn't spook me or Tom, but it is probably best to be with the family as you are getting warned about tornadoes coming through the area.
It's a watch, not a warning, and it's probably sunny outside right now.
It's probably fine. But the more we talked about it, the more we thought, I don't really want to be stuck in the studio with a tornado warning. So we'll or watch even. We'll
that could become a yes.
We'll get back to the house here. So anyhow, the point is this: 5 o'clock was recorded at 2 o'clock. So 3 hours ago. It's not that dated. We're all right. The draft tonight. Look forward to it. I am ultimately very curious about what all of this is going to be with Tampa Bay. But really, the draft in general, with the Bucs, they're going to be an ongoing curiosity, given the fact that they've made the moves that they have, and they're also weirdly constructed. There's a part of you that could see a way that this works, and that they're one of the better teams of the NFC. And then there are still pitfalls everywhere. They could fall off a cliff. This could be a nightmare. It could be that Brady simply can't play, and there you are. Your starting quarterback, which is the centerpiece for all of this discussion, fell off a cliff. You bore witness to it some last year. You chalked it up to the inadequate personnel. It turns out he just couldn't play. And the next thing you know, all of this is a moot point. Or maybe the defense is still not there yet. Maybe the defense, which came on at the end of last year, certainly was always good against the run, began to slowly but surely get better against the pass. Maybe they don't take the step Maybe they don't take the step forward that they're supposed to. And the next thing you know, the team's still not relevant. We'll see. That's all there. But tonight's draft figures to be very interesting either way, because the more you read throughout the week, and the more places you seek information, the more you realize this draft more than almost any other, and they all feature a ton of uncertainty. But this one, more than any other, given the circumstances, given some of the restrictions and constraints on these teams and their front offices and what they can and can't do in the way of meetings with players, workouts with players, and physicals with players, means that I think you're going to see a lot of trades. You're going to see a lot of moving around. You're going to see a lot of uncertainty, and you're already beginning to hear some of it. We have a funny clip coming up involving Mel Kiper. He's at his wit's end for a few reasons. A little overworked this time of year.
Hopefully he's napping right now.
Yeah.
He needs a nap.
He does. And, they have there in Bristol at the ESPN headquarters, it's basically a university, and they have hotels on the quote-unquote campus that is Bristol. And people literally live there for weeks at a time before going home to their loved ones. For example, Mike Greenberg ain't fooling around living in Bristol. He lives in Manhattan. But when he has to be in Bristol for any prolonged period of time, back before they built the studio that they did for Get Up, he was there on campus, quote-unquote, for months at a time.
Oh, in the ESPN Greeny Suite.
Yeah.
At ESPN Greeny Suite on Twitter. Make sure to follow it.
Yeah. So, but a lot of these guys, especially the lesser guys, the guys that are kind of fill-ins on a lot of shows throughout the day, people that Ryan Clark, who I'm not ripping, I think he does a good job, but that guy's on like 6 shows in a given day. That guy has to stay in what amounts to a hotel room on campus for a week.
Yeah, John Fox, when he shows up on the campus, they're not putting him up in a house in the greater Bristol area.
John, here's room 211. You'll be there for the next 10 days. Enjoy your stay. There's coffee every morning. So, yeah, that's what you get. That's,
where John Saunders used to stay when he hosted NHL Tonight.
So, long story short, that situation is funny because Mel is fried, and you can hear it, and you will momentarily. But the uncertainty around this draft makes it truly unique, and also the production that we don't know how it's going to go is something that's all on our mind, at least those of us who love this industry. Kind of curious to see how they pull this off. I suspect they're going to do a good job if they don't get glitches or electronic failures of some kind or wire problems. I think they will, because they have so many people and so many resources working together between the NFL Network, ABC, ESPN, all of them. I do think they're going to make this as seamless as you possibly could, given the circumstances.
Yeah, they probably have a core 3 or 4 people they can go to beyond the anchors, like people that can analyze. Mel's got to be one of them. Michael Irvin for NFL Network usually does a really good job on the desk. And then you have Daniel Jeremiah, who's their lead analyst since Mike Mayock departed a couple of years ago. Daniel's taken the lead.
And he's better at it.
He is. Last night, in fact, I totally agree with him. He had his mock draft, his last one on NFL Network last night, Rich Eisen and Daniel. I think that was probably a warm-up for tonight's purposes.
Sure.
But Daniel says all the tackles are gone by 14, so the Bucs don't have one to choose from, and they took Jerry Jeudy at 14. And he said also, I'll give the Bucs one extra thing. I have them taking Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the second round.
You love this draft.
So he's correct.
Yeah.
No,
Daniel Jeremiah is winning the heart of Tom Lane.
I don't love his opinion. He's just right. So good job on getting the right answers to the test, Daniel Jeremiah. Appreciate that.
If Daniel Jeremiah is correct and does as you just suggested, then that means Dolphin fans following Daniel Jeremiah's projected selections, you get ready to get angry and nervous because they'll go with Justin Herbert at 5 and Tua will go to the Chargers and you will pull your hair out because you just drafted the wrong quarterback.
I believe that the Dolphins, their problems with the draft. Remember the Deion Jordan pick? We could probably grab the audio before we leave today.
That's a good one.
Whoa! Yeah. I think it is caused solely by two people, friends of mine in college, Chris and Pat. And Chris and Pat are two diehard Dolphins fans who have been long-suffering, as most NFL fans in the state of Florida have. But every year...
Except for when the Bucs won the Super Bowl.
This goes back, well, we're pushing 20 years.
Oh, yeah, but the Jags and Dolphins, it's been more than that.
Every year in college.
Jags never have.
And in college, it was still a Saturday morning thing. They would pull up the Jets fans booing Jets' terrible picks over the years on YouTube every year.
It was funny.
Just laugh their asses off at this thing. I think the Schadenfreude created a problem in the time-space continuum such that the Dolphins are going to screw up first-round picks for years to come, including tonight. I am deeply concerned for Miami.
They draft 5. There's rumor out there that they're working currently with Detroit. Who knows what's going to happen there? That pick is strange. The Chargers looking to go to move out of that spot at 3.
Watch the Dolphins trade up to 3 and take Herbert.
Whom they could have had at 5 without
It's been done
it
before, Chicago Bears fans.
Bears, right. Here's what I'll say about that. Well, by the way, Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans, we moved up to get a quarterback nobody wanted.
That's correct.
Nobody wanted him. He wasn't even good in college.
Could have gotten him in the 3rd round. Who knows?
It was bizarre. That's still one of the anyhow. Oh, that makes me mad. He was awful. Justin Herbert, if he goes 5 and Tua goes 6, the Chargers at least have something to go with what is a talented roster and then a new possible first time in a long time, first time only time in L.A. identity. Now that's the team that's got Tua. Oh, okay. All right, that's where Tua went. Everybody pay attention then. Right now, the Chargers have a good roster.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're screwing around. They should have just signed Jameis Winston. Tyrod Taylor can sit his ass. He's used to it anyhow. And go bring in Jameis and let's go. You want interesting. And there's a talent roster. It's so funny.
Jameis was way better on the road last year anyway.
I know.
So, he's playing 16 road games.
I just say this. It is fascinating when you talk about the situation Jameis is in. And we've brought it up a lot. Jameis is cursed on a lot of levels. He's too good to be a backup. And so the problem you have is that if you have a starting quarterback and he's not capable of throwing for 5,000 yards and 33 touchdowns, and you bring in one who just did, regardless of the 30 INTs that went along with it, the fans, who always want the backup to play after a loss anyhow, see a guy that once went to the Pro Bowl, broke franchise records, broke Dan Marino's records for fastest to this amount of yards and touchdowns in a career, and just got done throwing for over 5,000 yards, leading the NFL in passing, on your bench. And unless your starter is incredibly well entrenched and thought of, they're immediately going to ask for the next man up, who, by the way, can throw for over 5,000 yards. So you can't bring Jameis Winston into most places. He cursed himself by being bad enough not to be re-upped and signed to a long-term franchise deal, but being good enough that you can't put him in Chicago or Los Angeles or Miami or wherever it is if you already have what you think to be as your franchise guy and your starting quarterback, because fans are immediately going to clamor for the backup.
Well, Chicago choosing Foles was a bit of a death blow to Jameis. Now, you could bring him in Indy. I don't know what their cap situation is like, but you could put him in Indy considering that Phillip Rivers has a 1-year deal for $25.
Yeah, the same quarterback, one younger than the other, the same exact guy.
But you could put a team option on Jameis for years 2 and 3 that see him paid as a starter. And in year 1, it's a little bit less as a backup. But who knows? He's your insurance policy.
Yeah, no, it's going to be fascinating. Somebody's going to get him for next to nothing. The rumor is that New England is trying to decide between Cam or Jameis. And here's the thing. If you're New England, it makes sense because you don't have a starting quarterback on your roster. Every guy on your roster sucks. Don't bother with that.
They've got a cap crunch.
I mean, but
that's
yeah,
the hard part.
But you could right now you could sign him for no money. You could sign him for no money. You'd get him so cheap. You'd get either one of them for so cheap.
No, if you're Jameis, you're signing a 1-year deal, right?
Yeah, you're
Wherever
signing
you go.
a 1-year deal. The downside, and if I'm Jameis's camp, I oddly don't want to sign with New England. I've got nobody to throw to.
Yeah.
It says, what am I going to do? I'm going to go to New England where I have no options. I mean, nobody to throw to whatsoever.
I'd go to Indy. If Indy wanted me in any way for any amount of money for 1 year, I'd go to Indy. Phillip Rivers is old. He may just straight up suck, even though that offensive line's
Looked like
really
he was
good.
a shot player last year.
He may be shot. And if he is, I guess it's Indy or New Orleans, right? Because you've got offensive lines that can block for you. You've got enough weapons.
Well, please, Lord, don't let him go to New Orleans.
If he does, he'll never leave.
He'll never leave. He'll win a Super Bowl, and we're screwed. We'll have to see it twice a year. I want no part of that. Go out to L.A. and be the Chargers quarterback. I suppose go to New England, go to Pittsburgh and be a backup to Roethlisberger, whom you may start for tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
That actually is – and they've got weapons. They're a well-run organization. They're organized as hell. That's a good spot for him. I would be angling to be – now, we know that, unfortunately, Ben's a bit of an issue, and the talking points with those two on the same roster
It's
would be interesting.
The parallels, whether or not they're true, it doesn't matter.
It's not a good look.
Oh, the Rooneys are probably like, really?
Yeah.
So I want this kind of heat.
Yeah, but I mean, from a football standpoint, it's a good signing.
Hey, relatively speaking, the heat on Antonio Brown was light when he was with Pittsburgh compared to when he left.
Yeah, because the organization's well thought of.
You thought prima donna receiver who just videos locker room stuff every once in a while, not like piece of crap human being. And that takes some work by the organization to shield the media from those facts.
Given what we've learned, you're not kidding. I would say here, by the way, while we're on the subject of interest in the draft and all that's happening tonight, I find this absolutely fascinating. If you're going to look at a lot of the props, and guys, I like my props. Derek Brown, under 8.5 draft position bet at -120. I think he goes before then.
I agree. I think he goes before. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you're going to look at J.K. Dobbins, this is where it gets fun.
I think Herbert might slip.
Okay.
Anyway.
Unless the Dolphins take him.
Yeah.
J.K. Dobbins.
At 3.
51.5.
51.5.
I think he goes later.
Can I answer that tomorrow before the second round? Can I take a look at the board and see what's going on?
Okay. Who drafts Jerry Jeudy? Your chances, your bets, okay? Jacksonville is your 35-1. Will the Raiders take Tua?
Wait, are there any other options for Jerry, or is it just
No, there's a random draft props. It's just the Jaguars. Would they take Jerry Jeudy at 35-1?
Jeez. It's worth a shot.
I think so. Okay, so this is kind of fun. The first offensive lineman drafted, Tristan Wirfs, a lot of people believe is going to go to the Giants. You can get it at +150. I think that's easy money.
That's who the Dolphins are trading up to 3 to go draft.
I think I'm going to place the bet. I'm going to go and on my side.
That he's the first one to go?
He's the first offensive lineman to go. The Giants want him at 4. He's going. I'm taking him. It's going to happen. I'm winning money tonight. There you go. There's my bet. At +150? I'll take that bet.
Over, under, I'll set one. Just
Okay, you want this one? I'll give you another one.
Well, I got one too.
Oh, well, hold on to it. First 3 picks in the exact order. Okay, so now this is good because if you...
number 1.
So Burrow and Young are the same on every prop for this bet.
Okay. So it's all about 3.
It's all about 3. If you take Burrows, Young, and Herbert at 3, you can get it at plus 1,650.
Woo! Well, now. I would have that queued up, and then the moment that Rappaport or Schefter, and who knows what could happen, says that the Dolphins get to 3, just
go!
Bang. Bang. Done.
You got to. Yeah, what's your pick that you were going to go with?
Okay, over under 1.5. So does it happen at least once that the NFL has to give extended time to a team tonight because of technical difficulties?
I say under.
You don't think it's going to happen?
Well, you said 1.5, so it can happen.
No, I said one, over under a half. 1/2.
Oh, I thought you said
0.5.
0.5. No, I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, so if they have a problem, the first 2 minutes of their allotted, what's their allotment anymore?
I think it's 5.
Moved. Remember
it becomes
an
15? Yeah, it becomes an issue. Yes, I do.
Yes.
It becomes an issue after about 8 to 10, right? Because if you're in the first 5-6 picks, you've got a list of your hierarchy,
you got your guys,
and unless you trade out of it, you kind of know what you're going to do. Right. And if you trade into it, then you certainly know who the hell you're picking in the top 6 or 7. But by the time you get to where the Bucks are, to where the Jets are, hell, even the Jags, towards the end of the top 10, you could have a run on a position you had no expectation being gone. And then you've got to call and do all these web conferences with all your people and make a decision. Like, think about the Cowboys. You see the report earlier today?
Mm-hmm.
Jerry Jones is alone on draft night. He could pick up the red phone and call the NFL without anybody stopping him.
I doubt he's alone. I'm sure he's flanked by hookers. They're
not going to stop him from picking up the red phone and saying, you know who I want?
Hey, by the way,
Jordan Love.
The most difficult wager of the night. Over, under, and I'm sure Vegas will do 6.5, but I've seen it for some reason at 6, and I think it's a push, personally. Wide receivers drafted in round 1. I mean, it's a wide receiver draft, well established. It is a loaded. Are you ready? Jerry Jeudy goes in the first round. CeeDee Lamb goes in the first round. Henry Ruggs III goes in the first round. Justin Jefferson's going to go in the first round. So you're at 4 automatically. And here's where it gets interesting. Does Michael Pittman Jr. go in the first round? Does Jalen Reagor go in the first round? Does T. Higgins go in the first round? I don't think T. Higgins played well enough. That championship game hurt a lot of people. It hurt T. Higgins, and it hurt the corner for Clemson as well, who got brutalized by Jefferson all night long.
The Raiders have multiple first-round picks, right?
Yeah.
They're going to take a receiver, I think. And so do the Vikings at 22 and 25. They're trying to replace, obviously, Stephon Diggs, who got traded to the Bills. So you could see a 5th one drafted. I think so. If you're the Vikings, for example, you got 22, 25. That's essentially 25 is an early second-round pick. You can get the jump on somebody else. So you might go off what the big board says for Kuiper or Jeremiah to somebody like that. It might be the 45th best player, but it's your crack to get your second-round pick before anybody else.
The Bucs will take either Jedrick Willis or Andrew Thomas is my guess. I don't think all 4 tackles are gone. And I think if Willis, the kid from Alabama, is there, who played right tackle, if he's there, that's the area of need. The Bucs will draft him. That's the right pick, too. Don't be fooling around here. Don't overthink the room. You've got a right tackle who's an all-world right tackle in a conference filled with really good defenders. There's no reason to think about this too much.
All 4 tackles are gone in this scenario.
Well, then I don't know. I might
Jeudy or trade down?
We don't.
That's the choice. You're on the clock. It's ticking.
I'm trading down if I can get Simmons later.
I think he might be gone.
Yeah. What if he's there? Would you take him there? Simmons or Jeudy?
Well, I know which one you have fewer of.
Yeah.
Safeties.
Yeah.
Simmons is probably the best pick. I mean, but you're going to play him at what? Strong safety? Bring him up in the box. He's a hybrid player.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting pick.
You have to take Simmons there, I think, at that point.
Take him over Jeudy. My only thing, and I'm going to laugh when this happens, and we've got a couple of days. We'll have tomorrow to talk about it as well because it's not going to be in the first round. Somebody's going to reach for Jalen Hurts, who proved that he can't play.
Well, if they don't, then Mel Kiper will have some new stuff to dig up because he's been trying for about a month to assure people that Jalen Hurts is going to go top 40, top 45.
The best thing to happen to Jalen Hurts is the modern NFL because I'll tell you what, man, he proved time and again that reading the defense and finding your third or fourth option while doing so ain't his cup of tea. Hey, great kid, hard worker, amazing athlete. I know I sound like 1962 stereotype. That ain't it, guys, and that's not me. You know better than that. But Jalen Hurts is that guy that, you know what? I mean, if it requires you to run around, run over people, make a throw down the field with a big arm after you've kept a play alive for 10 seconds, yep, that's your guy. If it's sitting in the pocket reading a defense, pre-snap protections, throwing accurately, consistently into tight windows, finding your second, third, or fourth receiver on any given play, that ain't your guy. None of those things. That's not who he is.
I got one more story to tell. Mystery, my story.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
With a Bojangles 3-piece Chicken Supreme snack, you get a plate of bold, boneless chicken and a hot, fluffy, made-from-scratch biscuit for just $3.99. Or, if you'd rather 2 pieces of bone-in fried chicken with a biscuit and a fixin', don't you worry, because that's $3.99 too. It's such a good deal, you can knock out dinner and balance your budget in one fell swoop. Because if you're going to take out 2 birds with 1 stone, they ought to be delicious. Bojangles. It's bow time.
Rich Eisen here for Honda. This summer, experience the joy that can only be felt from getting a great deal on the Honda Pilot, CR-V, HR-V, or Passport at the Honda Summer Spectacular event. All 4 models from this versatile SUV lineup offer available all-wheel drive and available Honda Sensing, a suite of safety and driver assistive features that can alert you to things you might miss on the road. But you won't be able to experience this car-buying bliss for long. So visit your local Honda dealer soon. It's the Honda Summer Spectacular event.
During this current health crisis, our homes have never been more important. They are the gathering place for our families. They are our schools, our entertainment, and our protection. We know this has taken some getting used to, but we also know we will get through it together. So here's to the home. May it always be a place of comfort for you. A reminder from your friends at Barano Heating and Air, following CDC measures to protect your family and ours.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
We get it almost every night. And when that moon gets so big and bright, it's
We'll settle in tonight. We all will, in great anticipation for the grand experiment that is this year's version of the NFL Draft. But we couldn't let this day come and go without rekindling one of our favorites, and we got the necessary audio, I say, to incorporate it into the show today.
Came down to the wire.
It did. But this is a clearly rattled, strung out, and I don't mean that in the way of addiction, but rather exhaustion, a clearly frayed at the edges Mel Kiper, who is having to take on double duty as Todd McShay, is quarantined with the coronavirus and is overcoming, it doesn't sound like anyhow from what I've read, his time with the virus. He's fighting through and doing okay. That's good news. You don't want anybody to get sick, and he is sick, so you root for people who are. But he's unable to do and fulfill his job or his role, which is, the back and forth lunacy sitcom-esque banter that is Kiper and McShay. And because of it, Kiper is a be-all, end-all go-to for every show ESPN has. He's up every hour of the night. And this morning, while joining Mike Greenberg on Get Up, he sounded like a guy who was on the verge of breaking. and it was glorious. And Tom alerted me to the audio, and this is a frustrated guy. It's one of the things that McShay usually reveals is that he gets the silliness that is the mock draft season.
Yeah, McShay has been here before on draft morning.
Yes.
Where he's been on, I think it was Mike and Mike before it switched to Golic and Wingo. He was on the desk with them because they're on location for the physical draft, which I wish we had still.
Me too.
And he said, well, they asked me to do another 5.0 today, so I just got done with that, guys. I haven't got much sleep. So how's your morning going?
Yeah, he sounds perturbed by the process. Look, they struck gold years ago. We've been making fun of it for a very long time. You got guys who do their work. They work diligently on these things. They're not bad employees. They're not incompetent. But there's only so much you can say. A lot of this stuff, when we get to this point, especially on actual draft day, it's just rumor and conjecture. It's teams floating stuff out there to try to mislead and they know this, and they know they're being used a lot of times. And they also know there's only so many things that you can do with these predictions within usually the first round. I mean, once you get beyond the first round, to actually project the second, third, and fourth round selections for any of these teams, well, that's just silly. It really is, because by then there have been trades. Players that they wanted, that they thought would be there at 64 are no longer there. Somebody that they thought would be long gone is. It changes. It's always changing and evolving, and they know that, yet they're tasked, because the general public eats this stuff up, with putting forth another mock after another mock after another mock, and we, in turn, have mocked their mocks. So it's time for a little draft analysis. We love this, and then you will hear the audio, and I will translate what Mel Kiper had to say this morning. This is too good.
A draft analyst for ESPN dropped him on a make-believe website page.
That's going to be the measurables that ultimately determine where Manziel goes in May. Right now, he does not belong in the top 25. If he beats Alabama again, everybody's going to say, oh, boy, move him up. No.
Your number one. Who does Houston take?
I'm going to go with Johnny Manziel. He's going in the top 5 somewhere. Hey, what's wrong with number one? Johnny Manziel is a magician on the field. If he eats, sleeps, and drinks football 365 days a year, to me, he can be a very good to great player in the NFL.
Draft analysis.
Yeah, you talked to so many different people, and I'd heard Herbert no to Miami. I heard that the other day. Tua, you can't reconcile this, Greeny. You didn't get Breeze. Now, I understand there's different people with the organization, different decision makers, but you had a chance for Breeze. You didn't get him because of the injury. Now you get kind of the left-handed version of Breeze, and you're not going to take him again because of the injury. And the only reason he's there for you at 5 is because of the injury. You don't have to give up any of the draft capital to get him. So that's why I went there. Now, if you feel like, well, as Shefty said, they wanted Burrow so desperately. Well, maybe they don't love these other 2 quarterbacks. They got 18. They can circle back and pick 18 and get a quarterback. And the Chargers may wait till the early second round, maybe, to think about Jalen Hurts. You hear that. Where do these quarterbacks go? I got to put them somewhere. And I can't put them to a team that makes absolutely no sense. Can't project a trade. Can't drop them to the end of the first round. So that's the no man's land we've always talked about. Now, does Jacksonville, Carolina rethink things because they didn't expect Herbert and Tua to be there? They have Bridgewater. They have Minshew. Is that good enough to say, let's pass on these quarterbacks? If it is, as I say, Greeny, you get into no man's land. Does New England try to trade up? Does somebody else move up to get one of these guys? Does Miami see one fall in their lap at 18? This is going to be the most fascinating part of this draft is going to be these quarterbacks. Always is, Greeny, but it will be more so than any other draft tonight.
Translation, what the do you want me to say, Greenberg? I mean, these motherfuckers have got to go somewhere, don't they? I've been doing the mock draft for 6 months. The Dolphins aren't going to take him now? What the is wrong with the Dolphins? So I got to move him down to 18 because they're stupid? What do you want me to say to you? That Herbert's going to go number 1 overall all of a sudden? Burrow's going to fall to the Dolphins at 5? There's going to be a mega trade? Somehow we're going to go from there and Jalen Hurts is going to be the starting quarterback for the Steelers? What do I know? Stop asking me.
Where do these quarterbacks go? I got to put them somewhere.
Yeah, you put them somewhere. Go ahead. Where would you put them? Mike, I want to hear. Give me your draft analysis, buddy. Break it down. What's your mock? Where the got these guys going?
Where do these quarterbacks go? I got to put them somewhere.
There you go. There you go, guys. It all comes down to that. Where do they go? I got to put them somewhere. Yes, we all do. I'd like to believe it's a little bit more scientific than that, but Mel has revealed to you that, hey, I don't know. I don't know where they're going to go.
Where do these quarterbacks go? I got to put them somewhere.
They're making me. With a gun to my head, they're telling me, put the quarterback somewhere, Mel, and get up.
Where do these quarterbacks go? I got to put them somewhere.
Yeah, that's your job.
Yeah. This is ridiculous, Mike. I can't tell you where anybody's going to go. I don't know. I have no idea where anybody's going to go. But I got to put them somewhere. There are teams. They are drafting. There are players they're going to draft. They've got to end up going somewhere. They're telling me I got to put them somewhere. I have no idea. You have no idea. I know about as much as the guy at the Circle K. I have no idea. But I got to put them somewhere. I'm here with you now, and you keep busting. What am I to do?
Where do these quarterbacks go? I got to put them somewhere.
It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Where do these quarterbacks go? I got to put them somewhere.
I don't get. They bring the head coach.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less. Hey, everybody. It's good news, and we could use some good news right about now. Getting family dinners to go with curbside pickup at Bumpa's, well, it's easy to do, and it's all day, every day. You're going to want to pay with a credit card, bring your own PIN to sign the receipt, and they want to thank you, so do I, for supporting your local restaurants when they need it most. By the way, if you call, it's 850-999-8652. And here's Rick Pitino to give you the menu items.
Pasta alla vodka. You get chicken, garlic bread, and it's a nice round price. Secondly, you got 20 wings. You got chicken fingers too, fries, onion rings on the side. Nice, also good for the family of 4. 2 racks of ribs with mac and cheese and broccoli. You could sub in some fries or rings if you want instead too, but those racks of ribs, absolutely delicious. Just beautiful.
Or you can order, Rick, from the regular menu. It's Bumpus349.com.
The whole shebang.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, TSparkConstruction.com.
Planning on expanding or renovating your home or business? Did you know that these construction projects start with preliminary work such as professional sets of drawings and proper engineering? Before you apply for financing or sign a lease agreement, allow our team of contractors, architects, and engineers to assist you with planning and budgeting. Hello, I'm Travis, owner of T-Spark Enterprises, and I am here because we want your project to launch on the right foot. Call us today and we will take care of your construction needs. We aim to provide work that will exceed your expectations, guaranteeing picture-perfect results.
Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, TSparkConstruction.com.
License number CGC 1525336.
Rich Eisen here for Honda. This summer, experience the joy that can only be felt from getting a great deal on the Honda Pilot, CR-V, HR-V, or Passport at the Honda Summer Spectacular event. All 4 models from this versatile SUV lineup offer available all-wheel drive and available Honda Sensing, a suite of safety and driver assistive features that can alert you to things you might miss on the road. But you won't be able to experience this car-buying bliss for long. So visit your local Honda dealer soon. It's the Honda Summer Spectacular event.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Studios in Florida's capital city. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Redemption Thursday, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. Got a do-it-yourself project that needs to be finished? Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, 1110 Stuckey Avenue in Tallahassee and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Online at ctf.nu.
You know, this story, it's a nothing story. I don't want to make too much of it, but it is weird. Just an aside on draft day. I don't know. I kind of casually read the story at first and then didn't think much of it. But the more the day went on, after I read it, the more I kind of began to think about it some. Jenna Lane reported for ESPN that Tom Brady, he's had an interesting week. First of all, he was working out in a park that he wasn't allowed to, a public park in downtown Tampa. And the city's coronavirus stay-at-home orders did not allow for people to be at that park. So a city employee saw him and told him, sorry, man, you got to go home, or you can't be here. You don't have to go home, but you can't be here in this park working out. So whatever, that's nothing. I mean, a lot of people are looking for places to go and to get outside, and you might not know where you could or could not go, especially if you're new to an area. That I can forgive and understand, and whatever. But we follow up on that with that Brady planned to visit the home of offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich. That ought to be an interesting conversation as an aside here. Tom and I have speculated on how that conversation might go. But I don't imagine it features Byron Leftwich sitting Tom Brady down to discuss what it is he'd like Tom to do within Leftwich's offense. No, something tells me that was going to be a little bit of a, okay, so listen, Byron, when I call this, I need you to be on the ready for this down and distance and these 7 plays that I like to call based on coverage looks. And then from there, I want to run these 22 plays if we're between the 30s. Now, as we get into the red zone, these are the 15 plays I want to run. Sequence usually goes something like this, and it's just Byron Leftwich nodding his head and jotting notes. That's how that meeting is going to go, right? That's not.
Yeah, I would think it would be Byron saying, "I look forward to working with you," and Tom would say, "Yes, absolutely,
indeed.
I look forward to working with you as well." And I'm sure that you have some ideas and input. And listen, I want you to know, Byron, that I'm open to those ideas and your input. Having said that, here's a binder I've brought for you. And some things I'd like you to review. If you check your email, also your Dropbox, I've also sent and forwarded, the
playbook,
the essential plays,
the playbook,
right? Yeah,
the playbook you're going to use to call plays for me that I provided for you. It's in your inbox.
It's been a pleasure, Byron.
Have a great evening.
Yeah, have a great evening. Any thoughts?
Yeah,
feel free. I have a window on Wednesdays from 9 a.m. to 9:45 a.m.
Yeah.
That's your time to ask me questions.
And you have a lot of time between this time and that time to study the playbook I provided you.
Talk to you next week, or not if you've got everything down.
On Wednesday, between these
9 a.m. and 9:45 a.m.
Yeah.
Not 9:46, Byron.
No, I'm a busy man. I'm Tom Brady. You understand. So, according to TMZ and now other outlets, Brady planned to visit Byron Leftwich for the aforementioned and described meeting. He walked into the home next door to Byron Leftwich's house. So he walked into the wrong house. He didn't knock before opening the door, and he came face to face with that homeowner before realizing I'm in the wrong home. Now, that had to be interesting, I'm sure, for that homeowner. I mean, Tom Brady is a very recognizable figure. I don't know if that person is a sports fan or not, but surely they do know they live next door to Byron Leftwich. So it's not unusual for them to see football-related personnel at Byron Leftwich's house.
He's a really tall guy. Probably had to duck through the doorway.
Yeah. So Brady walks in, and the owner of the house is probably a little taken aback, as one would if somebody walked into your house without knocking. Your best friend could walk into your house without knocking. Not cool. Your dad could walk into your house without knocking. Not cool. There's no circumstance where walking into somebody's home, unless they've told you I'm out back grilling when you get here, come on in. Got it. That happens. But for the most part, none of us under any set of circumstances are cool with another individual, beloved or not, famous or not, walking into our home unannounced without knocking. That is weird. That's weird, sort of entitled, bizarre behavior, and the kind of behavior that can get one shot. I mean, it's dangerous. I just don't get the story. I don't know how that's possible. You can be new to an area, and a lot of people have noted that when you're new to the area and you're not accustomed to your surroundings, it's easy to get lost. For this is true. Yes, you might turn the wrong way on a one-way street. You may not realize downtown you can't turn right on 7th Street. You got to go up to 6th. Oh, look at me. Aren't I the ass? Sorry, new to town. Let me turn it around. That happens. You might get lost in a neighborhood. You might not find your way. You may go over the wrong bridge, end up on the wrong side of the bay. Oh, geez, I'm on the bridge. I can't turn around. This sucks. Again with this. And then you're looking for the little cop cut through underneath the bridge where you could go back the other way because there is no U-turn. These things happen. People get lost when they're not accustomed to areas. But they don't, if anything, they have heightened awareness. They don't just go rolling on into jokers' homes without knocking. I check, double check, quadruple check. I'm looking all kinds. Tom says, Jeff, I live 5734 Bayshore Drive. Got it. Okay.
Hey, man, don't give people my address.
I'm rolling down Bayshore. 5736. Oh, we're almost here. And then I pull up and I go, I don't see Tom's car. Did Tom get a new car? Does anybody know? I don't see his car here. Are you sure it's 5734? I can't just get out of the car and go wandering up to this person's, doorway here and expect that they're going to let me in. What if I'm at the wrong house? Is this Bayshore? Are we on Bayshore? Just call Tom. Call Tom right now. Tell him I'm sitting outside a house that I think is his. I'm not real certain. You're just never going to go walking into somebody's home unless you really know, A, that they've okayed it, and B, it's their home. I really don't know how it happened. He walked into the home next door, saw the homeowner, realized he was in the wrong home, said he was sorry, and I guess somehow, somewhere, Brady and Leftwich told reporters they were trying to follow social distancing guidelines, having Brady come pick up materials from the coach rather than meeting with him somewhere. The source said Leftwich had been expecting him. So I don't know if that was a sort of tacit understanding that you could just come in.
Well, the social distancing, that means I don't want to hand you the binders myself.
But you can just walk into my home?
Yeah. Door will be unlocked. They'll be on the kitchen table or whatever. They'll be on, they'll be on the end table by the staircase.
Yeah, I don't know. If we're still following social distancing rules here, I don't know that I'm, going to just have you walk into my home.
No, you probably just scan them and send them.
You would.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you would do. This doesn't make any sense. Quote, I'm sitting here and I see the big shadow come up to my door. I hear my doorknob turn. I'm thinking, what the hell? Like, who's coming into my house, said David Kramer, the homeowner. I literally was just sitting here and I watched this guy walk in. He said he left his door unlocked because he's selling his home and had multiple people over to see the property recently, but he wasn't expecting company in that moment. Brady was carrying duffel bags. He dropped them on the floor as he looked at Kramer.
Yeah, he's carrying duffel bags. That's right. Who is exchanging information with whom?
Right.
That's right.
That's correct. Quote, how's it going, man? Kramer said, and sarcastically I said, I don't know. You tell me, dude. Like, who are you? And then he looked at me almost with a confused face. I'll never forget it for the rest of my life. And he goes, oh, am I in the wrong house? I said, I believe so. Who are you looking for? Where are you supposed to be? Brady responded, is this Byron's house? Kramer said, no, it's not. Brady apologized, felt silly, and rushed outside and left and went to the next house. I don't know. I don't really want to go crazy here. I just think it's weird, and it's the kind of thing that could get you hurt. I mean...
Oh, this goes back to a famous press conference moment between Jimbo Fisher and Brent Callistad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. In Florida, they can shoot you.
Yeah. What happens, Brent? What happens if somebody walks up inside your house? Yeah. In Florida, you could shoot them.
Yeah.
Huh?
They just looked at each other oddly. Yeah. Oh, it's a great moment. I just thought about it more and more as the day went on. And I really realized that's not really that. It's not possible. Something else. I mean, I don't know that there's anything nefarious going on. It's just strange. I thought of all the things that I've done where I've felt dumb or made a huge error or a gaffe or a faux pas or did or said something that I never should have or didn't recognize the company I was in. And there are a lot of them. Oh, I've had a litany of things that I could lay out there where I've thought, oh, that's crazy. I can't believe you just said and did that in front of that person. There's times that I've had conversations with dear friends, Tom Lang or Matt Millar or Matt Britton or any number of other people in which we might be a little blue in the way we're describing things, and all of a sudden one of them gives me that desperate look like, you can't say that, there's somebody behind you that is listening, and I realize in the moment, oh, that's a 62-year-old woman getting coffee. I probably should have never just said what I said. Yeah, that's happened. These things happen.
I think this is perfectly plausible. If Byron says just drop it off, I don't want to touch it, social distancing, just drop the stuff off in my house. Because now, once you told me that Brady has the duffel bags, we know. Byron didn't leave anything for Tom. Tom was bringing something to Byron. All right, so Tom's got the duffel bags, and Byron says, make your second right, it'll be the third house on the left. Okay, maybe he miscounted because the one on the corner doesn't count. He pulls in the driveway, he didn't get the actual address. Third house on the left, here we go, get out of the car. Look at that, door's unlocked in. Who is this guy? Byron, do you have an assistant here?
Yeah, I guess. I think maybe I'm more careful when it comes to people's property. I get the kinds of mistakes that you're describing there. Not when it comes to entering a man's home. He's married. Who knows? I'm not just rolling on into your crib. I mean, it's a weird thing. You're just not going to...
Byron clearly told him the door will be unlocked. Drop it off. Just drop it off inside right by the door. And
that also is weird. I mean, I would think that even if we're social distancing, I'm going to meet you. I mean, hey, man, I got you. We're not going to hang out like 2 feet from each other, but I'm going to see you. You're my starting quarterback. I probably need to...
Well, Tom, there's a lot of... I'd probably list this towards the bottom of a top 10 list of weird things about Tom Brady.
Oh, he's quirky.
I even think the park thing is weird. Dude, you got a 30,000 square foot property.
Yeah, you're in Jeter's home, yes.
You don't have room to just work out and throw the ball around?
Of course you do. He has a gym in the home.
Yeah.
There's a massive, yes, I don't know.
So you need to go to a park right now during COVID time, and he strikes me as more of a hypochondriac than not. So where's the disconnect there?
I don't know.
And then how does this thing get reported? I think TMZ had it first. So how does this thing get to TMZ? Did the neighbor call TMZ? Is TMZ tailing Tom Brady and they're looking for funny stories? I mean, what's going on?
Yeah, well, this is all part and parcel to what we're going to be dealing with from this point forward with Tom Brady and obviously Gronk coming to Tampa. It's already started. We talked about it yesterday on the show and the day before that, which is that, get ready to be the zoo. Get ready to be the epicenter for all things NFL related. I mean, it's like when Florida State was on Jameis Watch on a daily basis. The New York Times were in town just sitting around at parks waiting on people to screw something up or do something nefarious. And, every day there was another sort of leaked report of something mildly amusing, but certainly not national news, and yet it was plastered all over every website as if something cataclysmic happened yesterday in Tallahassee. That's Tampa right now. So you're going to get weird stories like this. And again, I want to be careful not to overblow this. It's just that this is a weird story. It's not customary to just roll on into people's homes that when you're not 100% certain that it's their home.
Listen, if you live, middle part of town here in Tallahassee and you got a studio apartment and you've been holed up for a month, I can understand if you roll over to Heileman, which is closed, and you go for a jog on the golf course, even though you're not supposed to do that. If you've got a 30,000 square foot property you just moved into in the last month, you've never seen it before, are you really cooped up like the dude in the studio apartment?
Right. No.
There's no way you're so cooped up. That's the one that bugs me more. I'm like, what?
Why were you in the park? What were you doing?
What are you doing, man? You needed to feel the grass on your toes when you're warming up? Is that what it is, Tom?
We got a big-ass yard. I mean, there's some room there for you.
It is a huge property.
Yes.
It's a city block.
Well, we've seen the bird's eye view of said property. It's astounding. He's probably not seen every inch of it yet. I would probably make it my business to see all of my house.
Right. You're not cooped up. You haven't explored half of it yet.
It's the Jeff Cameron Show.
Sellers Tile does it better for business owners, contractors, designers, and homeowners. Better design ideas, better quality tile, carpet, and hardwood flooring, better mosaics, ceramic, and vinyl solutions. And Sellers makes it easier with their amazing showroom and first-class professionals. Maybe it's time to get Sellers working for you on Capitol Circle Northeast, just north of Mahan Drive, or online at sellerstile.com for better style, quality, and design. Go with Sellers in Tallahassee. Call 656-8453.
Right now, you can get family dinners to go with curbside pickup at Gordo's North Side. That's right, all day, every day after 4 p.m. Please pay with a credit card. Bring your own pen to sign the receipt. And they want to thank you, and so do I, for supporting your local restaurants at a time where they need it most. By the way, I'm looking at these meals. Woo! First of all, give them a call, 850-727-5914. And order of the, Tom, you want to help me out here? Because I don't think you want me doing this. Lechon asado.
Lechon asado.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
Arroz con polo.
Arroz con pollo.
4 Cubans.
4 Cubans.
Polo a la plancha.
Pollo a la plancha.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's like beans and rice, right? With some plantains. Boom.
Well, the arroz con pollo is plantains and a chicken salad. Roast pork is the lechon asado.
GordosCubanFood.com. Ta-da!
During this current health crisis, our homes have never been more important. They are the gathering place for our families. They are our schools, our entertainment, and our protection. We know this has taken some getting used to, but we also know we will get through it together. So here's to the home. May it always be a place of comfort for you. A reminder from your friends at Barron-O Heating and Air, following CDC measures to protect your family and ours.
Lane's Medical Shop has all of your home medical needs. They carry home oxygen, hospital beds, nebulizers, walkers, wheelchairs, orthotics, diabetic shoes, and all sleep apnea supplies. Lane's also has a weight loss clinic in-house, no appointment necessary, including B12 injections and any prescriptions necessary with the lowest prices around, and delivers to Tallahassee and South Georgia. Located only 40 miles from Tallahassee, go see Blake today, 210 West Main Street, Colquitt, Georgia, 229-758-9111.
A crying baby is impossible to ignore, but a quiet baby can be easy to forget. Every year, dozens of children lose their lives because otherwise attentive adults forgot they were in the back seat. It only takes a moment for a car to heat up to dangerous levels, even on cooler days. So get in the habit of always looking in the back seat and use reminders to ensure baby is always with you. Where's baby? Look before you lock. Paid for by NHTSA.
Rapid fire as we say peace. Enjoy the draft. Good times. Stay safe out there. Be well. Tornado watch / warning for all involved here for the next few hours.
7 o'clock is when ESPN Radio takes over with its draft coverage. So if you hear something else in the next hour, sit tight.
Yeah, it's just random stuff we got to bring you. But at 7 o'clock, we do have the draft. And if you're working or you have to be out and about driving around, A, stay safe. B, enjoy the draft. We have it for you right here. ESPN Tallahassee does. All right, Tom. Bucks drafting a tackle?
If one is there of those top 4, no, because Jason Light will not.
Well, they'll trade down and we'll take the kid out of Boise State and then accumulate picks. Okay.
Hopefully. Unless Jerry Dudia is the pick.
Actually, we should just ask Tom Brady who we're drafting. I don't know what we're waiting on here. There's several people who have job titles with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
It's like a Zoom call with the scouts, Bruce and Light, and then signing in is Tom Brady with 1 minute to go on the clock. Yeah. Gentlemen, I don't know what you've been talking about.
But this is who we're going to take.
This is the pick. And he just holds up to the camera. This is who you're picking. Thank you, guys. Boop. And he just signs off.
I'll see you again in a little bit with the next pick. Enjoy it. Talk to you guys tomorrow. All about it. Good times. Oh, yes, you've thought about it, but now it's time to enjoy the moss-drenched live oak, rolling hills, and pristine greens of Southwood Golf Club. Our friends at Southwood Golf Club offer individual, family, and student memberships, and now offer the all-in membership. That's right. Never pay a cart fee when you play. Don't forget, at Southwood Golf Club, it's not just about the golf. Hit the clubhouse for brunch, or maybe enjoy trivia night, live music, happy hour, and all-you-can-eat night specials, too. For membership information or to join right now, just call 850-942-4653. Southwood Golf Club is ready to make you a member. 850-942-4653.
This spring, I'm making Everyday Earth Day by incorporating small actions that can create big results.
Like what?
Well, I'm starting with daily habits, turning off the lights every time I leave a room, shutting off the tap when I brush my teeth, and unplugging electronics when I'm not using them.
Those are great ideas our whole family can do.
And since we're home more, I could also use your help with a few one-time projects that could benefit us long-term, like fixing water leaks and installing our rain barrel.
I'd love to help. Right after I call the City of Tallahassee Utilities at 891-4968 to sign up for paperless billing.
Excellent! Tonight, let's ask the kids if they have any ideas about what we can do to save energy, water, and money as we celebrate Earth Day at home.
2020 marks the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, and there are many things TLH can do to celebrate at home. Get inspiration at tlhcando.com. Small actions create big results. A message from the City of Tallahassee Utilities.
During this current health crisis, our homes have never been more important. They are the gathering place for our families. They are our schools, our entertainment, and our protection. We know this has taken some getting used to, but we also know we will get through it together. So here's to the home. May it always be a place of comfort for you. A reminder from your friends at Barron-O Heating and Air, following CDC measures to protect your family and ours.
Driving every day from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee. You're listening to a special ESPN Tallahassee presentation, the best of the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
That music suggests we're going to bring in our friend Lee DeKemper, JoeBucksFan.com, the website. A busy website, usually is anyhow. I can only imagine what it is doing in terms of business these days. We're always happy to be partnered with our friend Lee DeKemper, and he joins us now. Hello, Lee. How the hell are you?
Jeff, all right, man. I hope you're doing well and staying safe these uncertain times. But the Bucks are giving us reasons not to wring our hands in despair.
Yeah, I guess that's true. In some ways they are, in some ways they aren't. I mean, they are interesting. They are the focus of the National Football League. I was saying to Tom today that not even in 2002 when they won the Super Bowl were they the focus by outside media of the National Football League. Not until they actually won it, because there was this assumption they were going to lose to Philadelphia when they got to the playoffs because they couldn't beat them and it was going to be a road game and all of that. I think that year, oddly, the Bucs snuck up on folks around the NFL and won the Super Bowl. We knew they were great on defense. We knew they had a burgeoning offense that could win it. But I don't think a lot of people around the league who covered the league were in on the Bucs until late in the process. Right now, the Bucs are at the forefront of every conversation centered around the NFL. They will be during the draft tomorrow. They are currently, and they will be week to week throughout the season. When you bring in Tom Brady, you bring in Gronk, and you make a run at it like the Bucs are clearly all in on making, you become the focal point. And we've also seen the rise of social media and an excess of outlets that cover the NFL. So it's going to be a strange and very fascinating time in Tampa Bay for folks like you, folks like me, people who grew up down there that love the team. The Bucs are the man in the NFL, for lack of a better term, right now.
You know, you hit the nail on the head when you were referring to even when the Bucs won the Super Bowl, they weren't the primary focus of the NFL and NFL fans. And here's a perfect example. The last time a defending Super Bowl champion opened the season on the road was the year after the Bucs won the Super Bowl, They opened the season at Philadelphia.
And they beat them in Philadelphia. So just like they closed down the Vet, they opened Philadelphia's new season, new stadium with a profound loss. It was a beautiful thing. I've always really reveled in our ability to have just absolutely brutalized Philadelphia for a few years span, because the Lightning did with the Flyers as well. And I kind of thought to myself, if you're a Philadelphia fan, you have a strange resentment towards the city and the people of and the teams of Tampa.
Yeah, too bad the Rays didn't make that a trifecta
With the
in the
Phillies.
World Series, huh?
Yeah, if the Rays had beaten the Phillies, Philadelphia fans would have the most irrational, heightened disdain for Tampa, all things Tampa. As it is, I still think they have a little bit of resentment because really they must have thought, who is this know-nothing franchise that's never accomplished a thing rolling into our legendary locale and beating us to close a stadium and to open a stadium and humiliate us in the process? It's glorious. But now the Bucks are everybody's focus. So the uptick on JoeBucksFan.com. Let's guess here. It's been an interesting place to reside if you're on the message boards anyhow, because of the polarizing figure that was Jameis Winston these last several years. But I got to imagine now, is everybody in lockstep singing Kumbaya? Nobody's
pretty much.
Yeah, I was going to say nobody's arguing to great lengths over the acquisition of Tom Brady, are they?
Oh, no, they're not. I mean, there are a few, like, which Brady are they getting? Are they getting the old man?
I wonder that.
Or...
Yeah, I wonder that.
Yeah, and that's fair.
Lee, is there any 30%. Thought? Lee, I'm sorry. Is there any thought that Tom Brady is Kenny Stabler in Houston at the end?
It's crossed my mind. I didn't exactly use Stabler as an analogy, but I know where you're going. It's crossed my mind, and there's some Bucs fans every once in a while comment on our site, like, man, he didn't look so good the last couple of weeks of the season. He certainly didn't look good as the season ended. And then there's the people who counter that with, well, look who he was thrown to. He had Edelman and nothing else. Fair. That's fair. He's going from the outhouse, so to speak, of targets to the penthouse of targets. So that's a very fair argument. It just seems like Arians' issue was that his clock's ticking. He knows he's only got a couple years left. He knows that, and he couldn't sit and hope that all of a sudden Jameis's picks were going to go away. Now, if I was a betting man, I would have bet a ton of money that Jameis's picks were going to go significantly down in 2020. I really believe that in my heart. There's all kinds of evidence to suggest that was the case. But Arians, I guess, came to the conclusion, okay, they had a chance to get Brady. He doesn't throw a lot of picks. We might be able to pull this off. I don't know if I can pull it off with Jameis. I think I can with Brady.
Well, and I get it. You take that chance, you take that risk, and with Tom Brady, there is the fear that the Brady we saw a year ago, which I might add was not a very good version of Tom Brady at all. That he's a guy that's a shot player, and if that's true, then you've just mortgaged your entire future on a can't-win situation and will be further in the hole than if we would have just signed Jameis and continued to progress. But on the other hand, I get the risk, and I think Tom and I have been on different sides of this to varying degrees. I'm all in. If you're all in and you think Brady can play now that he has weapons, as long as you can protect him, I'm for mortgaging the future and making a run at a Super Bowl. I get it. If you've got a chance to win a Super Bowl, that's why you play the game. Go all in. And that means, in my mind, that every move the Bucs make right now, including in this draft, should be about winning right now. So if you can bring Gronk in, even if it's just for a year, because you think he'll help you win a Super Bowl, fine, do it. If that means that you need to make a trade and you don't really necessarily want to draft for all 7 rounds, and because you see a guy that can come in and play right now and change the complexion of the team that allows you to win, then I'm fine with that. And to that end, how do you see this playing out? I know who you want in the draft, but the Bucs desperately need a tackle. So how do you reckon that that you want Isaiah Simmons and that the Bucs also need a tackle desperately?
Because I think they can get tackles later in the first round. And one guy I know, before the virus came and the Western world was pretty much shut down, the Bucs did have a private workout with this Cleveland left tackle. His last name's Cleveland, Urza Cleveland of Boise State. Now, I know teams don't have private workouts with players unless they're very interested in it. And to say that this guy's a number 14 overall pick is beyond a reach. So I think the Bucs could trade back and get Urza. We don't know what's out there via a trade still that they can get at right tackle. Just this morning, Jenna Lane of ESPN wrote that 2 months ago, the Bucs almost had a deal with Trent Williams of Washington, and the deal fell through. So there's stuff out. Jason Peters, that's a guy that I've had my eyes on. Jason Peters has come out and said, "Hey, I'll play right tackle if you want me. I just want to work."
Right.
And I would be happy with him at right tackle. I know he's a left tackle guy, but if he's come out and said I could play right tackle, I will play right tackle. If you offered me a job, I'm all ears. So I think there are options out there that you can get a left tackle without spending, or excuse me, a right tackle without spending a number 14 overall pick on a right tackle, because that's kind of high. That's kind of steep price to pay.
Where would the Bucs come up with the money for a free agent above and beyond the draft class?
Boy, they're going to unload somebody, and evidence suggests it's going to be O.J. Howard. And I'll get to O.J. Howard in a moment here. They're going to rework some contracts. I firmly believe Gronkowski's contracts are going to be reworked. I heard Drew Rosenhaus last night on NFL radio talking about he hopes to be here for as long as Brady's here, and that's a minimum of 2 years. So Gronkowski's only currently under contract for 2020. So right there is a target to rework a contract. Right then and there. They could extend it and rework it, make it team-friendly. Brady's already reworked the contract. Evans has reworked the contract last year, just end of last year, early in the offseason. There's a couple other people that could